survival round. Sorry, the the bottom bracket. It was just survival, so it was cutthroat. But you guys are, of course, in the finals. Now, who do you think your competition is going to be today? Is there any teams that you're like, oh, okay, this might be a little bit more tough?
No one really, honestly. Like we pretty much rotate so fast that we don't really interact with a lot of the teams. So pretty much just gonna be playing against the zone most of the time, honestly.
Not even Elite with their group stages?
Elite's definitely gonna be a challenger. Yeah, but I feel like everyone's gonna be, if not more difficult, or on the same playing field as everyone else in the lobby as well.
Yeah, well, you know, everyone wants to win. Okay, what's the game plan today? Is it to sort of follow suit or kind of, you know, just wrangle in Monsoon the whole time? What's the plan for the team?
Land, loot, rotate, the classic.
That's it, land, loot, rotate, win. This is Fun FPS from the Sentinels. Best of luck to you today, Fun. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Lace. I appreciate you doing that interview.
Walking and talking is hard, man.
It is. I mean, you even see him bump into somebody. He's like, my bad, bro. But after that interview, did you get any chance to maybe get some extra stuff outside of the interview, extra good info?
I just got the vibes and the fist bumps from Monsoon. Like, this team is just energetic, and, you know, they bring that into each and every one of their games. In our group stages, Sentinels were consistently top 10 within their first game. Unfortunately, it sort of dropped off in the next group stages there, and then they honed it in again today because they dropped like that banging 23 kill game, which basically brought them up. But they're champions. They've been champions before. You know, I was chatting to Fun and I said, oh, is there anyone you're a little bit scared of? He's like, nah. But I was like, Elite? Oh, maybe. But, you know, I feel like they've got that confidence and, you know, that energy that's just going to carry them through matches. It's so exciting for Sentinels.
I mean, Elite has been playing lights out. Exactly. Wow. And you know what? Let's actually go into our PS5 story of the day, because it is Elite Esports, the first place team out of group stages in Graceful. This squad, when you were talking about consistency, boy, were they listening to you, because they gave us that in some.
I mean, they've been the most consistent team throughout this whole tournament, and this is why I said as well, undisputedly the best team going into this final lobby as well, from what we've seen so far. And the final say things can always flip, but I am expecting very big things from them, and that's why I said 8 to 10 games. I believe that these guys could definitely close this out.
Well, we got a chance to talk about earlier about some of the squads. I mean, VK Game is not going to be here, so we will be crowning a new champion. But there is a chance that there could be a team out there that becomes a 2-time champion at EWC, and it would be Alliance, Lace.
Yeah, look, in 2024, they won. They hit that match point format. We thought it was going to be the Falcons at that point, but they, like I said, they actually choked on their opportunity to win the game. So this is why I was saying it's super important you hit match point format. Anytime you see that chance to win victory, it's rotation and make sure that you're there in place to be able to win it. And that's exactly what Alliance did back then. Look, I'll get these guys to sort of touch a little bit more on, I guess, maybe why it's not so consistent for them. But watching these first couple of matches, it was so incredibly tough for them. You know, usually you hear the name Alliance and you think powerhouses, but it was looking really grim until the final 2 matches in their group stages. And, you know, we got a chance to chat to Aku, where he said it himself that, you know, he's not a replacement for Effect, and he never will be, but he's a new dynasty. So, you know, hopefully we get to see that today.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Hackett, right, from Alliance social media. They put him out there just making sure that he did the extra homework. And boy, was he able to do it, especially for the last day, the performance that they had. Nobody, I think, expected them to be able to make it with how they started off in the first 2 days to the finals. Because what? They're here right now. One team that did showcase that they could be in the match point finals from the get-go was none other than Team Liquid. And we had Zero. I mean, talking about choking earlier, he's not looking to choke anytime soon.
Yeah, no, this Liquid roster is finally hitting their stride at the exact time they need to. You know, I think there were a lot of questions about Zero and his IGLing when that Falcons roster first kind of blew up a little bit, and then he missed a land, and now they're here hitting their stride at the right moment. I love the dynamic of this roster. Sykes has taken a role of a support player, which he really hasn't had to do, and his ability to be a hybrid. You know, Sykes only picked up video games in general like 3 years ago. This guy is unbelievable. He didn't play any video games before APAC Trilogy. So, unbelievable storyline. Panic comes out there, and I think he brings a whole new element to this roster. You can trust him to slay. Zero's really enabled him to be that main slayer that he has, where he doesn't have to carry his rosters because he has so much talent around him, and I think he's kind of pulled him back from making his own plays and making a lot more team plays to elevate the rest of his roster. And he said, when he believes that he has the confidence to be one of the best players in the game, and you don't hear him talk that highly about players unless he really means it. And so for us to watch this roster who's been so dominant, so consistent, they have 3 wins, they've dropped absolute massive games, it's going to be really fun to see how they do, and I think this is the moment where, he can pull that EWC win out and really cement himself as, we can bring that conversation back between him and Hell again, and that could be another rivalry. We've talked about, Liquid, Falcons, and brought that up. That's been one of our rivalries or matches that we've been watching throughout this event, and I'm really excited to see that, and you never know. You never know.
Yeah, new dynasty.
I mean, the absolute biggest thing that the people haven't even, thought of, maybe if they didn't rewatch the VODs for sure, is all 3 of them have clutched games. That's like the biggest thing that you normally don't see out of a whole roster. If we're talking about Panics, Rat clutch and winning that game, actually from the 3v3, coming out with 1 HP on the cannon and barometer, and then surviving and winning the game. Not everybody can do that. But the biggest one I would like to say is Sykes there for that moment, actually on the building in Lava Fisher, I believe it was. He was a Watson on the roof, holding off the second team in the last 3v3, holding off 1v2, cracking them, doing 1 billion damage, and they managed to close out the fight. The fact that every single role is so strong, able to take over any fight, is just scary. The rest of the lobby should really be aware that it's not just about the entry or anything. The whole team is on their guns.
They definitely are. It looks like all engines are go for that squad, especially when we got a chance to talk with Zero yesterday. If you missed that out, make sure you go back and watch it. But I want to actually switch the conversation to just players' performances, because I feel like when we talk about Wolves, that's what ended up happening yesterday, with No Name just stepping up in a big way, kind of giving them that confidence boost. So I'm going to throw it to you, Lace. Who do you think, which player do you think is going to end up stepping up? Is it going to be No Name again?
It's got to be. He's just a powerhouse. And we saw it in one of the clips, right? They were there. He was kind of like let go on the leash and have the Kraber in hand. And he was the last left alive on T-Wolves when I think it was on the World's Edge map. And he had the ability just to hold it to his team. We're talking about the Team Liquid, where they've got those solo players that can, in fact, just lock it down when the squad is not present. And that's exactly what No Name can do. But, it does take this team a little while to get that ball rolling. But once they do, it ain't stopping.
Well, hopefully that ball is going to start getting rolling and rolling quickly, because as you can tell, the countdown has started. Match point finals is finally here. So let's get started.
Let's go. Semi dan apa lagi?
Mesdames et messieurs, après 4 jours intenses de compétition, nous y sommes, les 60 meilleurs joueurs du monde, les 20 meilleures équipes. Ce soir, une sera couronnée championne.
Every tournament begins with belief. The belief that you and your team will be left standing in a fountain of confetti, clutching onto the trophy that you have so desperately coveted for years. But belief will only get you to the starting line.
Aujourd'hui, tout recommence. Toutes les équipes sont à 0 points avec un objectif en tête. Réussir à arriver aux 50 points et être finaliste. Une fois cette étape franchie, un dernier objectif. Faire un top 1 pour réussir à remporter la victoire, soulever ce trophée et gagner le WC Paris.
And so, for the final time, my name is Barney Banks, and I am your host alongside the incredible Luti. And whether you are at home or right here in the Port de Versailles, in the heart of Paris, make some noise for your teams as they enter the Gadia City grids. Starting with Nags, Tyler, and Cinetic. They are For Fun Esports.
Drops the Kion there, GK Esports.
Lufka, Blasts, and Zane. They are Gaming Gladiators.
Vayne, Cole, and Kurev, they are Ninja in Pyjamas Esports.
Blixer, Fun, and Monsoon. They are Sentinels.
Sinap, Justna, and Hobley, they are Hunter Force 36.
Albralelli, Skittle Cakes, and Sacred. They are Team Nemesis.
Zach, Lauder, and Carter, they are Team Vision.
Euris, Arufa, and Axis. They are Reject.
Ulariman, Xuvi, and Peace, they are Unlimited.
Mike, Satuki, and Yuka F. They are Zeta Division.
Haku, Hakis, and Unlucky, they are Alliance.
Deeds, Jelly, and Duplex. They are Zeddy Esports.
Aguares, Nizul, and Yania, AGAL.
Sharky, Legacy, and Jesco. They are S8UL Esports.
No Name, Wentz, and Crazy Kong, Wolves Esports.
Pricey, Easy Flash, and Strafing Flame. They are RRQ.
Zero, Sykes, and Panic, they are Team Liquid.
Light, Kinda, and Henchman. They are Elite Esports.
Kills, Woolsey, and Imperial Hall, your reigning club champions, Team Falcon! Nous y sommes, les meilleurs joueurs du monde sont ici à Paris. Qui marquera l'histoire? Qui repartira avec les $2 millions? Qui remportera le WC?
We've got $2 million on the line and a legacy that will forever be forged into the ALGS history books at the Esports World Cup. So it is time to put up or shut up. It is time for the match point finals.
Make some noise!
Months of preparation, thousands of hours played, and every sacrifice made to get to this point.
The goal is always to win.
That's what we're here for, right?
The game so far has been incredibly rough.
It's hard.
I guess we can just call it warm-up. Hopefully the warm-up is done.
We are like super confident in our team. Clueless people should not do tier lists and put us on lower tiers because we've shown what we can do.
The difference between having a good game from a great game is just those small seconds.
Obviously, there's a rivalry between us and Liquid, so it's always nice to beat them. But it's just a little ego boost, pretty much. It's nothing deeper than that.
There's definitely like big names not doing as great as expected.
I just want to apologize to everyone that have watched us. The group stage performance was not great. I'm going to definitely promise that we're going to be showing up on finals way better.
I haven't missed a final since Poland, which is almost 6 years ago. So I'm not too worried.
そうですね。まず決勝に上がってきた全チームが全力を出した上で僕たちが1位になれるように頑張ります。
We're super proud and we're looking forward to finals. Try our best and whatever happens, happens.
We got through the hard part, so now this is the easy part.
After 4 days of competition, we find ourselves finally on the final day of the ALGS Split 1 playoffs at the Esports World Cup 2026. And if you're here in the arena, if you're at home watching, you're about to be a part of one of the greatest spectacles in all of esports. It's match point finals.
Everyone's going to be talking about it, and the big question is, how many matches will we go today? Could it be 7, 8? Could we go all the way to 13 or 14 like we saw last year, the Esports World Cup 2025? It always provides entertainment here, and we are globally represented in these match point finals as well. 9 from Americas, 4 from EMEA, 4 from APAC North, and 3 from APAC South. Every region is represented.
Absolutely love the fact that we have so much representation, showing that the Apex Legends Global Series truly is global. Now, 40 teams, of course, descended here on Paris, and we are left with 20. We have had heartbreak, we have had huge moments, we have had clutches, and of course, we have had that disappointment yesterday of having to send some teams home. But today is all about glory. It's all about becoming a champion. And when you look across this lobby, you look across the teams that are here, there are so many stories that are desperate for a conclusion.
We have the reigning world champions of Sentinels on the stage. You have the history of the club champions in Team Falcons on the stage. You have the up-and-comers, Team Liquid, who look like they could be champions on the stage. All of these stories converging together to create what is going to be an incredible match point finals. But it could be a long old road to victory here. It is not as simple as doing it in just a few games. We could go the distance.
Now, just to remind everyone, or if you don't know at all how this is going to work, a little bit of a change of format for our finals. Match point finals has its own special flavor. You've got to hit 50 points, get that on the board, and then you will become match point eligible. After you win a game, having become match point eligible, you will become champion.
And as I said earlier, we went all the way to 13 games last year. Are we going to find a similar distance, or could we even go further? I'm kind of having my fingers crossed that we will, because the more Apex we see, the better. Now, there are so many fans in the audience here, fans of every single team, and that's what's amazing. Every team on the walkout had someone cheering for them.
It's an amazing, amazing place to be. And if you are here, get behind the boys, because these teams have been fighting it out for 4 days to make it to this stage, to have a chance at lifting that trophy when we are all said and done at the end of today. Honestly, we've got goosebumps here in the caster booth, everyone in the green room, everyone backstage. I'm sure everybody who's sat in the seats watching right now is feeling the same, because we're heading over to Storm Point to kick this thing off. Paris Match Point Finals is live.
As we check in with the winners from the group stage, the #1 seed here, Elite Esports. Can they carry on their same trajectory from where they started and continue things into the finals here? Because Elite, we've seen this before on set, an EMEA team dominating throughout group stages, but then they fall flat when they get to the finals in the big moments.
It's a story as old as time. The one team to upset that apple cart, a team who's won the Esports World Cup before. Take yourself back a couple of years. Alliance in our match point finals have got it done at the Esports World Cup. What an opportunity that would be to call yourself a two-time champion.
Two-time champion that no one else has yet to be able to call themselves at the Esports World Cup. And now we've had some interesting zones when it does come to the ALGS so far this tournament. And starting here on Storm Point, are we going to see some similar ones? That's going to be the real question. It looks like we're going to be heading up north when it comes to where we're going to be finishing with this final circle. And the wall has been one of the best POIs that we have seen so far in terms of statistics, and Unlimit are going to be dropping up there.
Yeah, interesting. I was keeping my eyes on Alliance and AG Global. We saw that tweet before the action got underway today, saying that Alliance were going to be aggressive on AG Global, but probably not going to have the opportunity here, because the prio to this zone is going to be the most important. There is that zone. Wolves Esports are moving up to the top of the zipline building. And the fact that all of the wall isn't quite in there, this might be an interesting one. Will Wolves try and move into wall? Unlimit the team dropping over there. They had her in console, and they're playing right at the back building.
We may still see a fight between AG Global and Alliance as they are flying in. And there's the first knock.
And it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a trade. Unlucky is down, but Unlucky is brought back to his feet. Can the same be said for Yanya, though? 2 players from AG Global, you saw them escaping. And maybe we are going to see this scuffle continue every single time that we hit the northern side of Storm Point.
Well, AG Global will back away from Alliance in the end. After that knock, it's not worth taking the fight. And Alliance win game 1 already. In terms of engagements, they also get priority to zone. They can hold them out. And what a day it could be for Alliance. As for AG Global now, they've already had their first test and will they rue the day that they picked Northpad? That's going to be the question from my end. I was wondering, why did Alliance take that fight? Why did they pick it? But it makes sense. All of their rotations, all of their macro is used to playing from this POI. It's AG Global who perhaps have stepped into enemy territory.
Well, I get the feeling that story's not going to end in this game. We've just seen the res coming in, and AG Global will be back to full strength with Yanya rejoining the troops. RRCube playing the bottom of the zipline building. They're going to have a little bit of a rotate a little bit later on, but with so many teams ahead of them, I don't mind them playing this area and looking to hold a few teams out. Another team that's close to them is going to be Forefront Esports. They've got some barrels down, expecting a push to come in.
And both these teams qualifying through the survival stage as well. 2 teams who were very close to just making it through match point finals naturally, but they had to fight tooth and nail yesterday. And boy, did they both look good. Trust me, they are going to make this a difficult lobby for those who did progress previously, and they have that extra experience under their belts from those extra 10 matches that we had yesterday.
Well, Unlimit are the ones who are blessed by zone first. Dropping over at wall, come straight to them. They have the pick of where they wanted to play. Now, Crypto Seer and Altar is going to be the composition that they've chosen for this game number one. Usually one which kind of works into Unlimit's game plan, which is to be a little bit more aggressive, to take a few more team fights. But having Pryo in this zone, they're not going to have the best defensive legends outside of the Crypto EMP to stop those pushes coming in.
Now Nemesis, for me, quiet underdogs in this tournament. They've been going about their business, but you look at the composition, you look at how this team is built, the experience and the history of Albralelli against the sheer gunpowder of Skittlecakes and Sacred. Definitely potential winners for me if they find form, but it is an if.
So AG Global, we saw them lose Yanya a little bit earlier, but they've got that reset now. But having to reset early on usually just slows down the rotate. We do see Team Nemesis, who was the team kind of poking from the green and white buildings outside of North Pad. It looks like the call is to try and maybe get up to purple here. A couple of Evo Harvesters being pinged as we take our attention now over to Cascade Falls. EK Esports and S8UL a little bit too close for comfort.
Now for GK and for Dropped in particular, it's been a history of always the bridesmaid, never the bride. A lot of second places. Can this be the team that finds him a first place finally at LAN? Even though it's a long old road, as we check back in with what's happening up towards wall, and this is Alliance trying to make a push in.
This is a really big fight. Someone's trying to force this. Pack is down. Alliance are out. A combination of Wolves and a third party from Gaming Gladiators means that Alliance will be the first team to fall in match one of our match point finals.
And when you talk about teams that are built for winning, Gaming Gladiators, they have a little bit of everything as well. Could they be Emiya's hopes for taking another trophy here on ALGS LAN? And for Wolves, what a day it was for them yesterday. And you remember the incredible second place finish we saw with the Kraber and the carry from No Name. Only losing in the end to a lamppost, but they've been able to get here to the match point finals. And at the moment, they are taking a little bit of a peep over towards GG, but I think both of these teams now, after eliminating Alliance, they can be comfortable in sitting in their buildings.
Throughout the years, I've lost many a fight to a lamppost, I will say, when I'm not paying attention. So I'm with you, No Name. But that was, I tweeted about it yesterday, it would have been one of this what felt like the biggest single-handed carry from a player to get Wolves into that position and pop up for a win that we would have seen in the history of the Apex Legends Global Series. Wasn't to be, but still extremely memorable. As we take a look at where that zone is going, we are pulling hard in towards the wall, and that's a good zone read from Unlimit to play that backside of it, have their backs clear, and let the lobby flood in front of them.
One team I'd like to mention here is Team Vision on that northeastern side. Not only are they going to be in a good position to transition at the end of this game, but they can hold out the likes of E36 and Zeddy. You can pick up KP and you can move into one of the priority positions depending on where that zone moves. If it does continue to shift a little bit further north, we often get very hard-fought fights up towards there. As our #1 seed coming into this, Elite Esports now just going to have a little look as we check back in with the replay of how Alliance went down.
You can see just getting pinched essentially by two teams who wanted to force that building. Speaking of forcing, Yanya says go. Henchman is down. Light and Kinda have to retreat here. And Yanya's on the hunt.
Yeah, they're not going to let them escape easily here. Drone goes in.
Kinda goes down. Jaguares with the RE45 from distance will finish that off. And now Light, he's being chased here by the Axel. Light turns around. Yanya says, boys, you can get yourself a KP. And that's going to be the end of Elite Esports, the #1 seed coming into today. But Nemesis are now looking at this. Sacred sensing the opportunity to get some KP.
Expect to see a lot of these teams fighting when we're on Storm Point because of the congestion of just big, aggressive, fight-heavy teams on this northwest side. Nemesis are trying to hunt down AG, but now AG happy to try and retreat. Nemesis just one step too late here. And the Axel has very much helped out AG. When you talk about legend changes, you talk about compositions, running the right kind of legend. Well, Axel is everything that AG wants.
So Nemesis will retreat for now. The good news for Sacred on the altar is he's managed to swap out that Rampage for a Hemlock.
Not a bad trade.
Always a good thing. But now they've got a little more attention to pay to AG, because AG are back, because they don't really have much of a choice on where they're going to rotate. Arbolelli with the fuse ult. EMP is going to be destroyed as well. And now firing these knuckle clusters forward. Even though they've got the high ground here, Nemesis, they don't have the armor advantage. So this is a pretty equal looking fight.
This is where you need an individual to hit a big shot.
The zone's going to be a problem here.
Oh, they're going to try and wrap round again. I mean, they went this way before. It didn't really work for them. This is such a long route, by the way. They need a lot of meds, and I'm looking at it, 6 syringes, a med kit. Elsewhere, Zeta Division, they've lost a couple of players here by the looks of it. E36 are pushing up onto them.
Right at the top of command center. Obley's down. Satuki underneath, just playing in and around the knockdown. Oh, Cena. Oh! Got the armor swap, but it's not a great one. Oh, in the first, Force 36 will go down. And it's going to be Zeta Division who will win their first fight. You did see a scan coming in, though, from Height. Zeddy Esports are very, very close, but over to Team Liquid now, the other side of Command Center, down on the low ground at the entrance. They're trying to force their way in towards GK Esports, and there's a Mythic bin spawning pretty close as well.
Zeta had no right winning that fight, by the way, but you mentioned it. Zeddy Esports perhaps helping them out a little bit. As GK now holding out Team Liquid. This isn't going to be a comfortable rotation for them. Trouble is, if Team Liquid opt to go the other way, they're just going to go into Falcons, and actually, Falcons are hearing all this commotion. They also see the Mythic bin, and Falcons are starting to approach. So we're going to have 3 teams all around this Mythic bin now.
GK get EMP'd. Or should I say that, excuse me, is their EMP trying to slow down the push coming in from behind. Where that zone is going, though, we'll pay attention to that in a few seconds' time, because that is going to upset the lobby. Wow, to say the least. That is where we are going. I mentioned how it didn't feel quite right for a hard pull into wall. Well, it has bounced back to the hill house, the top of the zip line, where that building is, and who is holding pretty at the top of it. It's Ninjas in pajamas.
Sentinels also in the area as well. We know what an incredible zone-heavy team Sentinels can be, the reigning world champions. It's Team Liquid backed away initially from GK, but perhaps they're going to re-engage now they've not seen a third team. Falcons, they didn't see any knocks in the kill feed, so they back away as those CQs now start to give a little bit of information, and of course, disable those abilities and a little bit of a stun as well.
I was going to say, the difficulty here for GK is if they get hit by that CQ, then Caustic becomes essentially useless. Cannot get those barrels out. Cannot use that Caustic ult. As we see Sentinels eliminated, the world champions will fall early in match number 1, and they had a great position as well. It's Ninjas in pajamas who took care of their nearest threat, and with Team Liquid now portaling through, and a Skynade coming in from Jetsko. This could be the end of TL's game.
Last player has to try and get away. It's going to be Panic as the last one alive. And actually, Panic gets a knock, but not going to matter. Liquid go down to S8UL. That's what can happen sometimes when you blindly go in as S8UL. Now they're going to be under pressure.
And the team that's pushing them at the moment is Team Falcons. Walking their way up outside of Command Center from the Spider Cave. S8UL looking to see if they could drag Jesco back as well, and manage to do so.
Come hither.
So they will be healthy. As Falcons now going to start to hold out GK. Great shots coming in from Hal.
Oh, this is going to get ugly because Zeta Division also here in Command Center. It's going to be difficult to try and escape this fully healthy once you start to see as here is Zeta Division. They've already held a 1 versus 2. And now Yuka with the longbow will eliminate S8UL down to 14 teams.
And they're healthy. They have to keep moving forward though. 23 seconds on the zone. But Yuka, off of a body, has swapped out a longbow for a Kraber. Inches away, but inches makes all the difference. Uh-oh, Falcons. You're getting slid on. You're getting picked on. But now, it's up to Guild. He can't win it. Falcons eliminated. And Zeta Division continue this reign of terror.
AG Global eliminated as well in the kill feed. Nemesis now approaching onto Zeta Division here. But Zeta seem to be an unstoppable force as GK Esports will get taken out of the lobby. Now this is the center of the zone. This is a huge fight to win. NIP have lost 1.
Cole is down. A lot of damage, of course, done by Vayne with that car, but not enough to get the knock and even up the numbers. However, the portal from Kurev, huge, vital to get Cole back into a position where he can get res, but here comes Cinetic. Here comes For Fun, and Kurev has to jump into the void.
And Vane's not particularly healthy as well, but of course can go into that drone. Grab that death box potentially as well. There is still hope here for NIP.
Overflow on Kurev as well. But For Fun have bullied them out of the building. Nemesis now taking a lot of damage. You can see that up on the high ground. Surprise, surprise, who's taken them out? It's going to be Zeta Division again. Team Nemesis will be eliminated. Half the lobby is gone.
The cockroaches of the lobby in the moment are Zeta Division. No one seems to be able to take them down. Surely this is going to be their final fight. But now, even Reject are under fire as they started to approach. Satuki has gone down. And finally, after a valiant effort, Zeta Division will fall. But alongside from KP is now RRQ approaching Reject.
As Flash pops back through the portal, just trying to look to see if they can pick up some KP. They will have to move in a little bit, and I think they're going to get healthy before walking up to where that portal was. The damage was enough for them to try and take this spot away from Reject. Yuri's still down, and Axe is barely with any HP himself. See the breach charges coming in. And RRQ are going to give an OXL over to Pricey on the Wraith to try and hit another portal.
4 of these teams are nowhere near zone. And they're going to quickly find out how difficult it is to try and approach uphill. Sadly for Reject as a 2, there's too many eyes on at the moment. Wraith portal is going to be the only attempt here.
Oh, the phase dome will keep him alive, but it allows RRQ just to creep up and take this tree spot away. RC still somehow alive, by the way. I don't know how. I'll limit now from that the northernmost tip of the wall. Have to force their way forward. Remember, they dropped over here. They thought the zone call was going to be a hard wall zone, but the pull away has really scuppered their game.
Oh, and the caustic barrels in the end do enough as Unlimit and Reject will be wiped away from this server. As Team Vision, I mentioned this position a little bit earlier from the northeast. They bided their time, they didn't overcommit, and now they've been able to slowly but surely work their way further south. And now they actually hold out the likes of Wolves and GG.
One of the best conversion rates that you could possibly ask for when you look at top 5s to wins is Team Vision. That'll be very important if they hit match point today. But they've got to get there first. A lot of work to be done. Gaming Gladiators will be eliminated as Wolves find themselves down to 2. And RRQ are making the call now to try and wrap this damage that's been done to numerous teams. Look for these KP. And then work their way towards zone. No Name, he's down. Pricey with great shots. Easy Flash goes down though into 1v1. Strafing Flame versus Crazy Kong inside the building behind the knockdowns. Swing comes in. Crazy Kong, he gets taken down. Strafing Flame with the biggest shots of the final so far.
And that takes us down to our last 5 teams, which is significant, because statistically that's where the last final circle will be around. 5 squads competing for a win. As Zeddy, they've lost Jelly at the moment, but perhaps they'll have a chance to get him back up as they're trying to compete for this same building that NIP have been holding for what feels like the entire
NIP
game.
have just got a res. You just saw it there. Somehow Ninjas in Pajamas have got a res and will have Cole back into this game. Meanwhile, inside that building, For Fun and Zeddy having a little engagement. Deathbox res comes in, but look at the damage that they're taking. They're under so much pressure. The heat from those flames is singeing away at Zeddy, but they somehow managed to reset here.
And you mentioned those conversion rates. NIP with a 33% conversion rate from top 5 to a win. For Vision, it was 50% in Pro League. It's not been as good here in this tournament, but maybe they can find that form.
Zach says to Lota and Carter, go get us some kills. Go take out the threats that surround us. RRQ have been eliminated as Ninjas in Pajamas are safe in zone.
Oh, those nades, they hurt though, they burn. And it's really down to whether you can actually heal up here.
Kurev gets out. Safe was the wrong word from me. They certainly weren't. The nades just rained down from numerous teams. They've managed to reset once against the odds. Ninjas in Pajamas in this game. Can they do it again? Top 4, Team Vision. Ninjas in Pajamas, Zeddy Esports, and For Fun Esports, your final 4 teams.
And I like that you touch upon final circles for Vision, and it's down to Zach Mazer, their IGL. They found the last remaining player. Kurev can go into the void once more, but it feels like it's just delaying the inevitable. Maybe you can find a little hidey hole to play here, because perhaps Zeddy and For Fun are focusing elsewhere.
He might be able to get a placement point if he's careful here. He also might be able to get a Deathbox res. Had overflow, which means you'll get healthy nice and quick. As Team Vision hold the most space, it's ForFun and Zeddy that are stacked up on top of each other. Maybe not. Ninjas in Pajamas will be eliminated. Kurev cannot get the extra placement.
That was like a silly bang out, but bang it, the dirt is gone. But it was NIP who finally get taken away from their building. Other cleaning products are available as Team Vision now will hold the main area here as ForFun and Zeddy are both going to be in this same building. Advantage Vision, 100%.
With the exhibit going down, certainly is, because that means ForFun and Zeddy are engaging. One alive on Zeddy. It's going to be Jelly. It's a 1v1 in the building. Cinetic versus Jelly. Jelly wins it, but Team Vision convert once again.
And as we were talking about throughout Split 1 Pro League, they had a 50% conversion rate from top fives. And even though it hasn't been up there here, at Split 1 playoffs at EWC 2026, now those percentages start to go up, which is the perfect time to increase them in match point finals. Zach Mazer, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the best IGLs in the world. Can he get a LAN trophy for Team Vision?
Well, Zach with some choice words there, some confidence.
एक second, hold on.
As he says it's over in 6. With that kind of start, why wouldn't you have that kind of confidence? Fantastic endgame management again from Team Vision. The job was made easy for them with the fight taking place inside of that building, but the zone pull, I think, caught a lot of people off guard. Something didn't seem right at the start when I saw that second zone. And the fact that it bounces back to that zipline building, a lot of those teams who had prio inside of wall really struggled to leave.
The position from Vision right at the start.
ForFun 10.
They played that, I like to think, is because into either zone if it pulled north or south. Against Ninja Pajamas, those and they were able to sniff them out, take them down, and then look take place. Did they get buffed from the patch notes?
I didn't read that. I didn't read that in the patch notes, but it might have been true here. We'll have to see if they can continue though. That is one thing, but we usually go a long way when it comes to match point. Getting that win early on, boy, did it do something for the confidence. They will be feeling on top of the world right now.
I will say it's not exactly a mammoth victory in terms of points. It was quite shared out, quite even between lobby leaders. Vision did put up 19 points in the end, and we'll go through the rest a little bit later.
Careful, Nessie.
Nessie again just dangerously, tantalizingly close towards the crusher there, as those are the keys that will be crushed alongside the hopes and dreams of all these players on stage today. Only one will remain.
Well, with match 1 done and Team Vision taking home the champion banner in that first game, match 2 is just around the corner. We're going to go for a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
Look, I don't know if you've heard this, Pricey, but I was on broadcast yesterday and I looked deep in the camera and I said, I don't know if they're going to make it into the finals. And I have been saying it's a reverse caster curse, okay? Because you guys did so well yesterday for APAC South. Now, going into today's competition, do you feel like yesterday's performance is going to bleed into today and that you can maintain what you guys have already done?
We've been going into, like, because our last 2 group stages were bad. So yesterday and after every game, it was like a mental reset every game. So right now we're like still on that like even level We're not going into like overconfident, underconfident. So we're just gonna play our game and see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching you guys from the side of the stage where you're kind of like cheering, even though, you know, you don't get the win in that match, but you know that, you know, you're getting those sorts of points. How has it been like sort of having Easy Flash come back in? Because, you know, Strafing and Easy Flash have been such a dynamic duo. How do you feel that you sort of like slide into that dynamic?
Pretty easily. Everyone does their part. When everyone's all happy and cheery, everyone does their part super well. So that's what we're going for today again.
Well, Pricey, I will never doubt you again. I'm so sorry Pana yelled at me the other day. But guys, best of luck to you today. Do it for APAC South.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Welcome back once again, everybody, to the ALGS Split 1 playoffs at Esports World Cup 2026. Match 1 is in the history books, and it's Team Vision who take the win. We also hear from RRQ's Pricey. Big Pricey guy, I have to say, personally. I think he's one of the most experienced and celebrated players in APAC South, and we love to hear from him. And I love his music choices as well, Dan. He's got some good music choices, I will say.
I'm sure he's a fan of the cosplay that we have in the audience as well. Some excellent representations of skins. As we look back at some of the highlights, and match 1 is done, and how many more are we going to have here in match point finals? I do want to correct myself from earlier. I said last year we had 13 games. It was actually Esports World Cup 2024 we had 13 games. It was 9 last year, so apologies for that one. But it was a brilliant first match, because like I said, the points were shared quite evenly across the top 4 teams. There was no one who really took the plaudits, apart from the obvious win from Vision and just a little bit of a lead from the extra points they were able to get from first place.
I forgive you.
Thank you.
That's okay. No problem.
It was only an apology to you, just to be clear.
I did not correct you. Team Vision with a very, very simple end game there, but I think the most impressive thing there for me was how they cleaned out RRQ to clear that side of zone. Very important. You saw the portal down using the Nexus, using the Q from Alta to get down to that low ground and deal with the damage onto RRQ, knowing that they had the ability to portal up onto them should they be forced to later on with that zone closed. So just being aware of situations nearest threats to you is what Zach is so good at. Now, Crypto, of course, a huge contributing factor to that, being able to be on Crypto, being able to use that drone and see what teams are surrounding you and see what teams are also fighting. But now we move into match number 2. This is where the IGL stakes, I think, start to get lifted a little bit here. The value of a good IGL when Crypto is gone really does get on display.
And now, differently to yesterday's competition and, of course, the group stages as well, in match point finals, we snake draft the maps. We will not see 3 in a row and then moving into the next one. Instead, we start on Storm Point, we now move into World's Edge, and we transition all the way through to E-District, and then we go back again. So we will have E-District back-to-back at 4 and 5, and then later on, we will not see Storm Point once more until match 8. So for Team Vision, for example, if Storm Point is their map, if that's where they're going to find wins, perhaps when we get to match 8, they would be match point eligible and might have the chance to win.
Well, just to give you an idea of the standings and the points that actually came away from match number 1, Team Vision with 19 points. The 7 KP that they got alongside the 12 for first place puts them top of the pile. ZE Esports with 14 alongside RRQ. Zeta Division actually ended up in 4th place. We saw a few team fights. 11 KP took them to 13. For Fun with 10, and then Ninjas in Pajamas with 8. We will update you on the standings as we go through these games. Of course, but it's all Team Vision.
It is all Team Vision. A 5-point lead, and 5 points extra, you will take them, but it's still quite a way off being match point eligible, remember. Sometimes we've had game 1s where people put 27 points on the board and we're like, oh, wait, they're over halfway there at this point. Well, Zach Mazer thinks in 6, so we'll check back in with that once we get to match 6 and see where they reside and whether they're even match point eligible. Because how many times in ALGS history do we see a team win and then in the next one die first? So
very often.
We'll
very often.
Team Vision here.
We'll see what happens. If they can get into the top 5, however, I'm expecting them to become champions again because they have a little bit of a knack of doing so. We'll give a huge amount of credit to Ninjas in Pajamas. Such a stressful day for them yesterday to stay alive in the tournament. To make top 6, and they did it. Now coming into the first game of today, a good performance, a solid performance, and after you've been through so many trials and tribulations over the first 4 days of action, I think it will just settle down a bit this lot.
I do like you bring up Ninjas in Pajamas going into World's Edge as well. That's where they've had the majority of their points. In fact, the most points we've seen in this tournament has come from Ninjas in Pajamas. They have had more games than others, but in a little bit of an equation for you. Liquid have only got 4 points left less than NIP on World's Edge. And of course, they played
good damage
3 less
नहीं
times on that map.
The World's Edge looking good for Liquid. Let's see if
काम
they
देसी
can
देखो लास्ट वाले के टिकट के
based upon the
काम देवा पूरा
stats that you just gave to me and the beautiful people who are watching around the globe. Well, that's the end of Storm Point for a little bit. We're heading over to World's Edge now. A little bit of a change of scenery. But the action will be just as fast-paced. Match number 2 is live.
Zero MS नहीं समझे hey कुटे कंप्यूटर सर्वर एक करते हैं ना एक ना सर्वर डालेगा
Team Falcons at Lava Fisher, that's been the best performing POI so far this tournament. E36 over towards Overlook and Vision at launch side, the third best performing POI. So our winners from match 1 also have the stats on their side as well, because not only do they have launch site, they've been able to transition over towards Dome and double up in their loot phase.
Yeah, really interesting. They're actually splitting where they are landing at the moment. It's only Zach Mazer on your screen right now, who is doing a little bit of looting over at Dome. So everybody else is going to be. You think about the amount of information they're going to be able to leave with. It's quite something. They're going to have good Evo opportunities. They're going to have a lot of loot, and with the zone being pretty close to them as well, it's looking good for Team Vision. If you're wondering about the zone, let's give you that information. We are going out towards Harvester by the looks of things. AG Global, good news for them. Alliance, very good news for them over at Tree. They have a ring console, and RRQ arriving already to try and take that western side of Harvester.
Yeah, Liquid are going to be moving quickly here from Lava. Siphon as well. Ninjas in Pyjamas going to be shadowing them. And actually, NIP watched Liquid hit the ring console, survey beacon, etc. Now they're going to take that and get the same info that Liquid have. So NIP will be a little bit further behind.
Yeah, interesting as well. Sometimes it's best to let the team ahead of you hit the information, and then you can base your next decision off of it. Of course, probably a little bit early for that to be the most value that you can get out of it. Usually if you're playing Edge a little bit later on, that's a good thing to do, especially when you're still looking to grab those Evo points.
ଏଠି ତ ମିସ୍ କରିଥାନ୍ତା ଏତେ ବଢିଆ ଜିତବାର ମ୍ୟାଚ୍ ଟା ହାରିଗଲେ ସେଥର ଖରାପ ଲାଗଲା ଦେଖିଲି ଯେ ଜିତବାର ମ୍ୟାଚ୍ ଟା ହାରିଗଲେ
in our previous game. A tough moment for them, but they have fantastic prio onto this zone, and with Watson in the composition, Hackett on Wraith, and Unlucky on the Seer, they're set up for the long game here.
And I do think Alliance have to make these maps that aren't Storm Point count, because Storm Point is going to get ugly with the contest. That being said, Alliance have been able to find themselves in a pretty solid position to start with, as have many teams moving to the center of World's Edge here. And it is really about where you can find somewhere to call home and set up. The compositions have changed quite significantly with the crypto ban from match 1 as well. We can have a lot more Seer in the lobby.
19 Seers in the lobby. That's a lot of Seer.
Too much.
Interesting to see some of the racing essentially that's going on as well. You saw RC trying to get into that snake.
One of these
teams would have had a prior position that they want to play on certain lines should the zone pull there. But if you're just half a second late, half a beat late, when you look past the time that you leave your POI, you'll find that spot is taken. Zaya Division, they fought their way towards zone in the last game, and this time they're fighting inside of it.
They fought excellently in the previous trying to both teams hold their snake. One of you has to go down here. You cannot both reside. You're going to constantly be poking at one another. And Sentinels, they do bite back a little bit, but now both teams say, I don't feel confident in pushing. So they will currently cohabit. It's like a noisy neighbor, you just hope they move up soon.
Fun being able to pop that ulti cell to get a gem back is very important. That gives an anchor position for Sentinels to fire from, knowing those shields will be recharged. As they stay within the distance of that interception pylon. Up on the high ground, you saw RC trying to take that snake position earlier. They were beaten by Sentinels. Now they're playing up on that high ground, overlooking the snake at Harvester. Wolves on your screen right now, they're a little bit further away from the action. As our Team Falcons, it looked like they're kind of counter-rotating here towards Mirage for either a ring console or to hit the survey beacon.
And I was mentioning Falcons, I was mentioning last time, the best performing POI statistically with its average points. I do think they chose POIs in the POI draft that have been performing well.
total lifetime.
Interesting to see, you know, when you were looking at the stats, you kind of jumped out your seat. You're like, wait, there's a pattern emerging here.
Yeah, it seemed appropriate that Falcons would choose the best performing POIs, but I do think it's a risk. It's going off of the law.
ना मैं change कर पा रहा हूँ ना view कहीं वाला.
Have been pulling as well because usually the points averages are kind of exceeded because of where the zones have been going. But it is a game plan, and well, if it works, we're going to call them geniuses, or one person in particular. Privacy will be called a genius.
तो हाँ ये सर वाला कैलकुलेट करो तो कितने मुझे जान बस करो जो तो कहाँ ये सर वाला कितने हिसाब करो ना किन्हीं
Inside a countdown right now.
नहीं गुटा डॉलर औसी तो लाखे
What a day it was for them. What a 4 day, I should say. It has been for them so far. But no points on the board yet. And we mentioned how EMEA has an unfortunate kind of passing in history when it comes to getting to the finals, looking fantastic through groups, and then just kind of falling flat when the pressure gets a little bit too much for them. One team who isn't feeling the pressure and won't be in this game number 2 is our winners of game 1. 19 points already on the board for them. And we usually say, if you're watching for the first time, you're wondering how kind of an average of points per game works for a very good game. 10 points per game, you're usually saying we're in a position to win a tournament.
Very happy with 10 per game. Yeah, you would be match point eligible by match 5. Now, we have had teams reach match point eligibility from match 3. Historically, match 4, we've seen it quite often as well. But with how tight these lobbies have been, I am curious to see when we get there.
Well, let's see what Team Vision's plan is. We've got a listening queued up. Let's jump in and listen to the boys.
Got a long boat across the map. We're gonna have to trade because I have no hop up.
Hey, make sure you guys have a fuck ton of nades ready.
Yeah, I do.
Like on this fight, I'm gonna path the low ground.
Probably.
I'm gonna path the low ground and Skynet
Alright, how many ult cells do you have?
I
have 2 ult cells on me with a gen up. I'm making beacon.
Get down देखिए.
I need to give you power burst still.
ऐसे डोल डाउन निकला.
ऐसे डोल डाउन नो
Oh my god. Did we just go over here? Where does this pull to? I feel like it's this zone.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Yeah, I think
it's building was open, no? The building was open.
Yeah, the building's open. Yeah, but the thing is if it's not that zone and it pulls here, then we have to fight up that up. I'm getting aped. I'm probably good. They're just running.
He's on the rock.
Huh?
He's far, he's far.
I'm gonna bat.
Really good shot. We're rock. I see him. You're good, you're good. I got them.
I'm a little bit confused what zone this could be. So what I want to do here is I want to go for yellow. But what if we go for here instead? So that we can play for both. Because if we get stuck in this, we have to go there anyway. All right, let's just go here for now and then let's war room, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Because if we're reading the zone wrong and it goes over here.
Always great to see the insight from the IGLs about where they think it could be going. Vision a little bit confused about that. For now, they're going to head towards train station where Nemesis currently reside, and they sort of say, maybe we can just sit here. We have seen it pull this way before, but we're not entirely sure.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, that my eyebrows are raised, Zach's eyebrows are raised. You heard it from himself, you know, the man himself. He said, I'm not quite sure where this zone is going. If I'm going to hedge my bets, I think it's going to pull over to the Harvester side, possibly on the hillside, but it's a strange one for sure. I think a lot of the teams that have prior at Harvester are going to be looking at this and going, oh, do we risk leaving early here, trying to take a little bit of space that's available on the other side of the zone? Team Vision are kind of gambled now on this side. If it does pull to the other, they have to fight through the choke, and then they have the outside to work with. So I actually kind of like the position of Team Vision. If they don't get the pull this side and they can work their way through the choke, then they'll be looking down on everyone else.
It's them hedging their bets again, and, or not hedging their bets, excuse me, and being able to give themselves a secondary option just like they did in match 1. Now, Unlimit, under some pressure, under some fire, and currently within an exhibit, so they'll have to make sure they get away.
Creative routine coming in from these there to get out of the exhibit. And for fun, teams that are outside of zone right now is interesting. You've got Unlimit, who we just saw and can see on your screen trying to force their way in and will be safe. Team Falcons over at staging at the moment. They're not inside of the next zone. And I wonder if they're actually waiting to hit the ring console, which it looks like they're going to do. I think that's a very, very smart thing to do. If you're on edge right now and you could get the info on where this zone is going to be going, I think you're in a great spot.
And if they do get that info,
when they're working their way in from edge, they really are. Boogeyman, so many teams in the lobby. The zone has pulled to the north now. And RRQ are bang center.
Yeah, we were worried that as For Fun get eliminated, by the way, we were worried that some of these Harvester teams would have to transition quite far away, but it has continued to pull that way. So for Team Vision earlier, as they were thinking it might pull further south, are going to have to work their way north now, as are Falcons, who would have hit that ring console from staging. They're going to have to transition east. And there's a lot of teams to get through as well. And remember, we don't have any Valkyries in the lobby right now. There's no one who's going to be able to send themselves up without an evac tower.
Now the positioning of Team Vision becomes a lot more difficult. Zone pulling all the way to the north. They are the furthest team from the zone that are still inside of it. But then Esports and SAUL who are currently moving their way through the lava cypher tunnel quite far off. But Vision have at least managed to move up alongside Nemesis here. And that makes the fight a little bit more comfortable for them, but they're getting shot in the back, and Sacred is taking an off angle here. Abraleli's gone down though. Logos having a peek, Sacred trying to save the day here, but all three members of Team Vision are still up. And Carter's going to swing, Sacred has to queue back to try and keep himself alive. And it looks like advantage Vision here as Skin Cakes. He's going to be taken down.
You've got Reject now coming from the other side. Falcons are coming through the tunnel as well. Vision are screwed whichever way they go here. And they don't really realize it, but here comes Team Falcons. Oh no, Falcons portal back. It does give Vision a chance. Nemesis will be eliminated. Reject starting to back away. And somehow Vision are holding on to this one. Falcons have been able to just give them that opportunity.
Over to the zone, Zeta Division are out. They bullied their way through teams a little bit earlier, but not E36 inside of zone this time around. Synapse going to be able to be brought back to his feet by the looks of things, although there may be a cheeky Yanya and Jaguares looking to move in to see if they can clean that up. Over to the southern side of zone where we've got a little bit of the build-up as well. Synapse will eventually be brought back to his feet. This is SAUL GG, and Team Liquid were also having a little look at this one.
SAUL get out of zone and they can actually find a position to play on this southern side. But there's just such a long route from this point, and this is where you as a team have to start considering how you're going to find points. Could this 3 KP be vital for your chances of getting match point eligibility later?
E36 taking some damage from Unlimit as well in the kill feed. But GG inside the exhibit. Just go have a little peek at a prod. And SAUL have decided they have to fight this. Legacy gets the shields broken. Legacy will also fall. Everyone is weak apart from Zayn. Zayn will 1v1. Zayn will win it. Blast is also up. It was a 2v1. And it's a comfortable hole coming in from GG.
So now Vision have wrapped back round to take the fight against Reject here.
Carter, he gets taken down.
Falcons just went out. Liquid also fall.
That's the big dogs.
Big teams falling now, but Vision are applying a lot of pressure to Reject. But now RRQ are sending one player over as Reject do get taken out.
Pricey's having a look at this, and now Zach is left on his own. He's going to immediately go for the res onto Lota. I wonder if they're going to be able to be out of the line of sight of everyone else to look for a death box res a little bit later on. It was actually a Kraber shot from Pricey.
From that right-hand side, you can see Zach Mesa, and by the way, RRQ are not letting them go. They are tag team at the moment, backing through this portal. But that portal is only going to last for so long.
Looks like Vision might have done enough to stay alive here. I'm still interested to see if they can hit that death box res. They're trying right now. Wolves down in the canyon. Gotta be careful, the team's moving above them as NIP have to be careful. The pressure coming in from GG. Kurev is last alive again for them here. Unlimit just been eliminated as well. And even though Kurev may escape here, GG is still trying to hunt him down.
Zayn is relentless. Zayn is inevitable as GG pick off another team. Ninjas of Pajamas go down. But now here comes Alliance sending themselves in onto E36 who are below them. And AG in the area as well.
AG up on high. Be a lot of options for them on teams they want to fire upon in a few moments' time. Got to be careful. Watch it back. The triple swing coming in from GG. And Lucky is down. And then above them is AG. They hear the commotion. And they sense the opportunity for some free KP. They peek down. Jaguares will find one.
And actually a member from both teams have gone down.
Careful, Yanya.
GG have lost 2. Alliance also got knocked as well. Aku replied as Gaming Gladiators after a fantastic effort.
And for what looked like a fantastic position to play from, AG Global are dead. GK Esports will be out next.
One more.
Can't quite connect with the second shot, but the first one onto Aku is enough for them to really force Alliance into a difficult position here.
RRQ are holding so much space in this zone. Their major threat is going to be Wolves and Vision. Those 3 teams are in the best spots. Vision also taking up a lot of space. Now checking Essentials. Down to just Blinkser. Backs against the wall here.
By the way, Vision did get back up to a 3. All 3 players are healthy again. And they control the southwestern side of this zone. E36, CNAP is up. Fun going to be finished off on the low ground. But E36 not safe inside of this zone. They have to keep moving forward. Blinks is going to have to queue through this wall, and it's going to be blind.
They can take a little bit of a route through this. Vision, Zach's very low. But they've been able to answer back to the damage Elite were doing here. This is an important fight. You win this on the west, you control the entire west side.
Look at the queue coming from Carter. He says, come follow me. There's nobody down here. Sentinels have been eliminated. They can't make it out. Elite now have to drop. And Carr with the G7 scout in his hands has given the advantage to Vision. The winners of Game 1 are about to delete Elite Esports.
And now Vision are the only team who are not in the building at the moment. They have the most space. AG Global, down. Everyone else is residing in this same area. Although Alliance have just created a portal to the south, they're certainly going to be in a good position as well.
Wolves up on the high ground. No name. What a moment he had yesterday. Pricey's having a look at this. He hears the fight in. Oblate only sees the death screen as Enter Force 36 will be eliminated. We have 4 teams remaining. And there's a healthy Alliance up on the high ground.
Yes, fantastic ball from Hackers to give Alliance this southern side. Recognized there was a gap, there was an opening because everyone was fighting each other. And now actually Vision, they're in a tough spot here. Because both RRQ and Wolves are having a little bit of a look at them, as are Alliance. And to try and plan this one out is going to be very tough indeed.
Alliance have all of the height on the high ground. Talk about making the most of the opportunities. That is what makes you successful in a match point. Finals are a match point lobby.
They would have been able to do it. So many teams who wouldn't have done what Alliance just did. They wouldn't have taken that risk because most teams would have thought Vision would still be up there. Now they say, Vision, we don't want you here anymore. They try and do some damage before they go back.
Kraber shot. Loads down. Barely any help to work with. Team Vision will be eliminated. Now the Kraber, so vital here. Wolves on the high ground, RRQ below them. But a Kraber in the hands of Hackis. Excuse me, in the hands of Pricey. Could be a difference maker. Hackis playing the off angles, playing the space. He's on right, so he'll be able to queue back.
I love this though. You take an angle, you can add that little extra bit of damage, and then you just feed Unlucky and Aku. They're all going to play there, but now Wolves, they're going to be above them here. Maybe it's advantage
Alliance make the play on the side of the building. They would have been vulnerable, having to move down, so they're trying to play this side cover. They were kind of forced to move from that height. And now they're ticking. And now they're burning. And with Aku down, all of a sudden the pendulum swings the way of Wolves Esports. No name's found one. Alliance now down to 1. All 3 still healthy. No name's Hackers down as well. Last hit from RRQ, and no name is hunting.
Still not done yet. RRQ might get a chance to reset. Castle Wall comes out just in case though.
It's Bank Center a zone. Wolves say, come to us, RRQ. Kraber in the hands of Pricey though. One bullet can be a difference maker. It's interesting now. 2v1 for Pricey, not enough. Wolves Esports close it out. If Pricey hits that,
the second one, oh my god,
this place
Yeah, मतलब sniper लाके मार के भाई.
Wolves Esports,
Where?
they held strong. In the end, Alliance were kind of frustrated by the length of which it took for RRQ to approach as well. They took every moment inside that building away from the
damage खाएगा.
and in the end they just felt themselves too vulnerable below Wolves.
Zone damage खाएगा तो.
Quite the following here in Paris.
Zone बाहर है. हाँ, और तो zone बाहर खाओ तो लगे RRQ के लाना है. RRQ.
And whilst they have not quite caught up team vision, they do put themselves at 29 points as a total. So they are over halfway towards match point eligibility.
Incredible performance from
Vision फिर भी एक नंबर अच्छे उल धल्ला 29
number 1
पासा
seed,
पासा
Apex
पहुंची
LT
गया.
coming into this event, well, they're starting to live up to that reputation.
ऐसे
A
तो
big
four
win for
रहे
them.
थे.
ସବୁଠୁ ଉପରେ ଅଛି Vision 34 points, second ହେଉଛି
It felt like that end game was in slow motion at one point. After Pricey hit that headshot, he saw the trailer. He saw the montage moment. But it's going to be Wolves who hold strong.
The advantage you have with the castle wall is just so significant as well, and even though it was a valiant effort as a two, look at the reaction from Wolves. And to be honest, look at the reaction on the other side for RRQ, because they know equally how much points they just put on the board. They're only 1 point behind Wolves Esports. And right now, it is not about wins, it is about
It's about the race for points, you're right. It's the race to match point eligibility. It matters for everyone in this lobby right now. 50 points is the target. Get to 50 points as quickly and efficiently as you can. Really start winning games.
So the IGL is being put to work with some of these zones that we've seen so far as well. Back and forth this shift. As we look at the match results for match 2, Wolves Esports put 24 points on the board to send themselves up into second place. RRQ not far behind, an Alliance, a massive third place for them, putting 12 points on the board as well.
Look at Team Vision in behind as well. Good KP for them. They put more points on the board in game number 2. Elsewhere, with the big points being soaked up by the top of the teams at the leaderboard, there are not really too many points to talk about, to be shared from the rest of the lobby. It's been a fantastic start to match point finals, as we always expect. We'll have to see if that momentum continues after this break. Don't go anywhere. The LGS Split 1 playoffs will continue.
के टीम टा को क्रैश कराबो ता ट्रॉफी माने अन्य टीम को ना रे से क्रैश करके ता तळे रही बोला स्टैंड करिया ପାଇଁ से क्रैश करियो सेट टोटल 20 टा अछि हला की हला एस12 लो फाल्कन लो हला जेति सब टीम कमस करे हला लास्ट में सल्ला पर जीतीबो विनर जी हबो हला
Now just grab Zane off the stands. You know, he's trying to chill out before the competition today. But of course, he's here to do a nice little interview with us, Zane. What do you think has contributed to your success so far in the tournament?
We've just been sticking to our plan, playing our game, and things have just been running smoothly for us. So hopefully it stays the same.
Yeah, a man with a plan, Zane. I like that indeed. Now, do you guys think you have what it takes to win this today?
100%, yeah. This is the best team I've ever been on. My teammates, they've got close to winning like 2 LANs so far. So adding me to the team, I think we can make it happen today, yeah.
Yes, I love those vibes, and I mean, today is the day. Now, since Effect hasn't actually made it into the finals today, do you think you have what it takes to be the best fragger for EMEA today?
100%, yeah. Last LAN that I made finals, I top frag, so hopefully we can do it again this time around. So yeah, 100%.
Well, you guys better be watching your screens today for Zane from Gaming Gladiators. Best of luck for you guys today, and that'll be those.
All right, I'm here in the stands. We just talked to Lufka. I'm here with Charlotte and Robert, Blast's sister and father. Guys, how do we feel supporting GG in the crowd right now? Charlotte, I'll go with you. This isn't your first LAN.
No, it's not. I've been coming to LANs now since LA, so I'm super proud of my brother. I know that he'll smash it, but I'm trying not to jinx anything, because every time I say that, then something goes wrong. So I'm hoping and praying that things go really well, and they deserve it.
And as someone who's watched these LANs before, I personally feel this is the best I've seen them play in a while. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is the first time I've actually been nervous. the whole, like, normally on lands I'm an absolute wreck.
Yeah.
But I've actually managed to, like, somehow not have, like, palpitations every single day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice. I've been able to, like, okay, they're doing well. I'm trusting in them, you know?
Now, Robert, you're Blast's father. The journey of a parent in esports has got to be a little different. Talk to me about your experience and just being here.
My goodness me, all I can say is, put it this way, right from when he was leaving school, I knew he was going to do something techie. He found Apex amongst other games, but this game just stuck out for him, and he's been devoted to the cause ever since, and he's gone just from progress to progress. He's soared, he's rocketed, he's going for the game, he's aiming to win, and I have every faith he'll do that.
All right. I was going to say any final words. That was all the final words he needs. GG, man. What support. Robert, pleasure to meet you. Charlotte, pleasure to see you again. GG and the family zone in the crowd here at EWC 26. Let's see if they can keep up the momentum and take a win today.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Apex Legends Global Series Year 6 Split 1 playoffs at EWC 2026. So far alone, we just saw Wolves pop off with game number 2. I want to hear your thoughts on that, guys. I want to know how long you think this is going to go to. This is match point finals for a reason, as we get to see Team Vision leading the way with 34 points already. The fact that this team has already 17 kills in the span of 2 games makes you wonder, are major moments a thing of the past?
They may be, because that team is looking incredible. The duo of Loader and Carter alongside Zach have been impressive, right? The fact that they minimized all of our point losses, that's just their worst map. They still were able to grab 15 points alone. As we go over to the back half, it's starting to look like Team Falcons, Team Nemesis, Team Liquid. Are we shocked to see them at the very bottom? This is the time for them to wake up.
Shots. Maybe is it the ramp up? Maybe.
Maybe
it's the ramp up. We've seen this happen before, but you know what we have also seen? It would just be a Cinderella story from Zach not making champs when he was originally on VP with Slayer and Lou, to getting the most wins in Pro League and now topping the overall standings. Team Vision starting off great, and as we've already mentioned, when it comes to match point finals, this is my favorite thing as we swap over out of World's Edge into Olympus.
Yeah, the cool part about Olympus, right, is that we really loved the left side of the map. So when you're thinking about that story of Team Vision, where did they prioritize? They grabbed 24th pick, Somers University. So knowing that we can get a lot of points early prior to some of those zones, but who knows, maybe we carve our path to the west. The majority of our teams picked this about, their 3rd map pick overall. And I'm immediately looking at For Fun Esports, but my big question is, where will Elite Esports be starting? And that is at Oasis. Now here's the deal, Elite Esports, they were powerhouses in group stages, but they are getting run down here in the early match point finals games.
टीम में जोने भी जो फ्लैग मारी दौजी यही जाऊजी है लबारी जाऊजी
Summers and Gardens. It makes you wonder how
Olympus फ्लैग मारवा के नॉक नहीं को लेके डाउन नहीं जाऊँ.
And for those of you guys who are new to our match point finals format, remember, a team has to achieve 50 points, and then after getting 50 points in a separate game, be the game winners to be crowned your ALGS Split 1 Playoffs champions. And ready with the way that Vision is playing, nearing almost 40 points. This is what you like to see. And then now Wolves ramping up themselves, getting 12 KP in a game 2 win, is trailing right behind the Titans thus far after just 2 games alone behind Visions.
Well, if we're going to be talking about Wolves just before we dive into the Falcons, the Wolves from APAC South are one of the most consistent teams across not only Stormpoint and E-District, but also Olympus. So rotating map to map like this should be in their favor. For Falcons, though, we talked about it at the bottom, and it's crazy to see that they are just, I don't know, Vicky, like, how do you think they're looking?
I mean, Hal looks a little nervous. Yeah, I could understand.
Hal nervous?
I
mean, Aku's staring him down. He's like, I'm making the young guy here for Alliance, but, we're warming up.
Very true, as we get to take a look at the Alliance fans in the crowd. They know how to show up time and time again, from the family to the fans who have been trailing the Alliance story to making it into this finals lobby. They know what they got, but it's about converting into it when it comes to being in the top 6, 13 points. But it's still that very big gap that we have from even RRQ up to Zeddy in 4th place with 19 points. We're ramping up to go onto Olympus, everyone. We're gonna see with our teams getting ready within their POIs, but looking at the history and already talking about the Legend Bands, Tiff, we've seen Crypto and Seer off the table, and it's kind of followed that suit. Looking at the way that the group stages play out as well as a survivor stage.
Yeah, when you say that survival stage, typically we had that Mad Maggie in that 3rd game ban. However, we did see Watson banned early when it came to Olympus. So my thing is, are we prioritizing the Watson? Because I personally think we need to. And if I confirm, Vicky, how many picks is Watson?
The fact that Watson and Mad Maggie are tied at 100% each, Tiff, you are on the money when it comes to these Legend Bands and how it's kind of adjusted a little bit going through our different game. Oh my,
Hold on, guys. This is groundbreaking. This is groundbreaking. We're going to the West on Olympus for the first time in the Year 6 ALGS Split 1 playoffs.
Do my eyes deceive me? Am I in a fever dream? I'm rubbing them really quick because you got to look at the teams who do go over to the west side of Olympus. I mean, even thinking about the POI drafts for the teams that think that are going to have advantage when they end up getting even Team Visions over to Somers, ZE2, and with a lot of these other squads who will be able to get the ring console, they've gotten the memo early and they're already going in for a quick
I'm looking at Elite. They've dropped the evac tower over at Oasis. Ninjas in pajamas with the utmost rotation out of there. For everyone that's got the 20 picks on Watson, so everyone. Ring consoles galore. Zeta Division and Zeddy Esports are rotating towards Hammond Labs, likely to get access to confirm that we truly are going to
Gladiator,
the West.
RRQ,
Now, for the teams with the longest rotations, bro, Team Vision, Somers, that one hurts a little. Back to Estates we go.
Already starting off with this early fight with a huge pileup of teams here. Sentinels being one of those teams to settle down. Got the fans behind us ourselves, but it's going to be tough for Sentinels since, you know, they're going to have to rock out here within their POI for YAG2. Trying to start off strong, already seeing the portal play right in front of them and losing out Nizula and Hogwarts as the next victim. Sentinels looking like they went in for a kidnap from Blinkster, who is on the Wraith. Now taking control over onto the high ground, and a little bit of revenge now is going to come out of the hands of Luca, but a great way to start things off and getting this KP at early points.
But the best part about these buildings, right, is you have these crannies, but when Mad Maggie's prevalent, a Riot Drill will definitely hit a full for you. Good thing we can hit that death box recovery for a few more seconds. Incoming frag grenades are going to keep the Sentinels from being able to do that. Honestly, get in that tree right there, Fun. You shield cell up, and let's get our Blinkster back.
He was able to get that so cool. Blast! He was in the line of sight. We just spoke to the family of Gaming Gladiators, talking to the father and also the sister Charlotte, who has been able to be here to support her brother. And Gaming Gladiators have had one heck of a tournament run. AG though, that also has been able to ramp up now down to a duo. Yanya's also on that raid to combat that with Blinkster being on the raid themselves, but with so many teams now moving up, there's a lot of space to share over by Estates.
Yeah, it's been a slower start for AG Global for sure this entire week. They're one of our only teams that has not actually achieved a map win across our days here. So keep tabs on them as Sentinels are in the same boat. AG Global definitely looking to try and improve on this position. Portals galore to keep through the Watson fences, and we have not gotten Blinkster back just yet.
As soon as the next to go, Sentinels are your first team eliminated. Number 3, it's a tough one here too, but it's going to be a cleanup with so many teams that are trying to farm this KP. GK not moving from their spot, happily sitting underneath these buildings, and with the amount of watts and every team this is what you can expect as RRQ also from within this building, trying to find an opportunity to try to get a kidnap and protect this portal with the Watson fences.
And that's the thing, right? With so many raids and altars in our lobby, it's making these holding the vicinities difficult, right? RRQ have the raid, so sure, they can't pop through a floor to go. They have to go in through the fences as GG last alive here. Next to the pylon, fences are up, going for the res. RRQ trying to get up there, or do we full send this? No, there's too many teams here.
I mean, with NIP and Co being so low, which by the way, this has been one heck of a tournament. Looking at Co, he is going to go back. On the other side of that portal, Curve was ready for the suppress fire just in case, and you saw the lined up to try to block out the mouth of that portal, but Vayne gets caught. She was literally 1 pixel of HP. With 19 squads left, though, it's literally just a drive-by with these teams just poking from afar, but the missile once again is drilling into the team underneath them. As the nade, oh my gosh, the finishing blow to find Vayne, and now we get to get the Deathbox Res on their side.
And Gaming Gladiators with 5 kills so far in this game alone. Just need Zane back, our fragger. But if you keep those riot drills frying into the other teams, whittle down their resources, however, those pylons are going to keep... Meanwhile, we need a replay of this. Unlimit move in and take out Alliance.
Alliance going out early once again. Better looks here for Unlimit to scoop that up on an isolated fight. Over onto the north side on the outskirts of Oasis where there was a ring console, right? So you could have gotten that information. Team Lucan are going to be transcending through Fight Night. Out of the north side is RRQ, not letting NIP breathe for a second. Remember, they sent out that nade that landed before. They can't catch a break with another Deathbox Res that we saw too in the feed. A Strafing Flame, hopefully he's going to be able to get these shields up as you see GG now move up. And that's the side-by-side highlight actually from Sentinel since this is their POI. That's how they fell a little earlier. But the life is on the bottom left here as AG do get a knock after they lost out on Hawadis, and it was with a portal push to find NIP.
Ninjas in Pajamas also eliminated during that skirmish as we tune into Enter Force 36. Obli is down and Synap and using a play around the pylon. Currently open with multiple options for teams to stare at them here. But Reject, also another team hailing from APAC North, were the ones initially dealing that damage to them before deciding to back away.
The team's not trying to get involved in the pile up here. Reject trying to clear this northern side closer to that evac tower. We see where E36 is situated over onto the choke on the north side that exits where Unlimited had taken that fight earlier against Alliance. But a lot of teams playing on the edge because this is going to be a Southern Estates pool.
Ooh, that's going to be crazy because we don't actually pull straight towards Dockyard. We bring up the map. You can see right there Zeddy Esports holding just on the outskirts of that rift. Team Falcons there. Team Nemesis back in their home of Dockyard. Do have Reject just ahead of them. We have to start thinking about where we are going to approach that next circle and what information do we have. The ring console there at Dockyard will be able to get hit by the Watson from Team Nemesis and they'll know exactly how they need to approach this. It's not going to be easy considering we have about 8 or 9 teams playing around the Estates area and of course that little pocket with the 2 survey bins outside there. Ooh. That's going to be tough.
It's going to be great, too, at least being able to hold on to the high ground if they clear that southern side of the zone. It really depends on that pile-up that we will eventually see against Zeddy as well as Team Vision before they end up wrapping behind them. But it's a side-by-side with Falcons. Mentioned having a pretty rough start. Tiff now playing off the southern choke themselves and playing it safe here, while E36 not so safe themselves. They do lose out on Synap in the process, thanks to Rufa, who catches him with the Hemlock.
Yeah, Synap plays a lot of these movement characters as kind of main IGL and is just getting caught out on some of those entry moments. Obli and Juzna now kind of pulling together, playing behind the knockdown, under fire. Wolves from the back end, though, shooting towards Reject could allow E36. No, just kidding. We got Unlimited in the mix and Enter Force 36 go down.
Unlimited is seeing the buffet in front of them and just scooping them up just for themselves here. Going to be able to get that KP as Zeta Division also are neighboring the other side of the wall once they get through that choke. And as you see the nice flyby of where everybody is, this is the real estate that we were talking about with the dive up of a lot of these teams that are essentially coexisting with one another, but other squads who are still playing on the edge as AG still stuck as a duo, seeing if they have any opportunity because they were lacking on meds. I mean, you don't even have a med kit if you're Jizzle. He's got shield back and only 3 shield cells. He's out of this fight, and I'm worried about that ammunition he's got for the alternator.
Yeah, it's not like you putting Alter here. You've got the race, so you're not going to be able to use Alter's passive to kind of loot the boxes around you, and we haven't taken an actual fight and finished it and had the chance to slurp up a lot of that loot. We do have the Maggie Ball in our back pocket should we need to, but the issue is you pounce on one team here in Estates, you're getting full sent. Back to SAUL, a little bit of a slower start for them though as they're rotating.
Hold on, so I'll see violence real quick here because the Legacy and we saw Zero getting knocked from both sides, while SAUL get a little bit of revenge and panic. trying to back up Zero in the process. We're going to have to see how that's going to play out, because on the other side of that choke, it's Vision moving up behind Falcons, who want the Mythic Bin. The team that comes out on top of this fight will be able to have priority over whether one of these teams will get the Kraber. We're going to have to see as Carter moves up. Looking on the other side of the lip, though, it's still this other fight happening against S8UL and Team Liquid, so it's this pile as Vision has to be careful because the 3P is behind them from Zeddy. Before Loader is going to be able to try to get this res, but you know that Zeddy's right there.
Team Liquid take out S8UL and Vision are going to have to get on the move, because here comes Zeddy, here comes Dupe, and they immediately make their presence known. D's with a play, he knocks Loader, and Carter joins up Team Vision, is out.
Gotta hit them with the Dupe. You don't even scoop that up, making them fall in 15th place, and it's kind of great to see how Falcons see them now. Vision gets eliminated, they get the Mythic Bin. They're now going to look at Zeddy, and Team Liquid, who took out S8UL, will be able to get involved in some of the possible 3P.
You mentioned the Mythic Bin, right? And there's a Kraber in Al's hands. Now, from this side of things, we can walk up into that next circle. The issue is it's incredibly open, so that Kraber is going to be needed to open up these engagements for those quick fights. However, we just saw Zeddy 3P up onto Team Vision, who are still needing to come out of the tunnel behind Falcons.
They're not trying to overcommit too, and that's why with so many altars too in this lobby, you got that portal to just reset if you need off the Void Nexus. Unlimit though, who have been able to scoop up a total of 4 KP for this team. Slowly but surely, with round 3 closing in behind their backs, they gotta start moving up, and it's Reject waiting to gatekeep them here as they move up themselves off the portal to try to get onto the high ground, but trying to mix it up too. You have one, and you go have the other to then pull it yourself up into the left side of the high ground, but you bait them. You see the Wrecking Ball coming in from right behind them, and this may be their opportunity. Oh, off the what the
There we go. Peace is able to finish the blow, but we get caught out on the left. Loriman and Peace diving throughout Eureese.
Can we talk about the positioning of that Void Passage to get the abduction while Reject do get eliminated?
Wait. They really just said hold this frag. Really do. Elite, though, one of the best teams here on Olympus, with the majority of their points coming from this map in particular. Good to see them still here fighting to climb up the leaderboard. Back to Estates for fun. Wolves, who's in second place, tied with their Apex South neighbors RRQ at 30 points.
Oh, and they get the res on the death box too. Unlimit. After clearing this northern side, coming out of the fight that we saw earlier from Alliance to get the death box res, Zeta Division are neighboring them. Now they're looking behind them and having to be careful. Zeta Division hear this happening. Looking ahead too with Elite still alive and covering these other buildings of the States. Dropping below with these resets that we're currently seeing from these teams that have just completely taken over this POI.
They are just poised and ready. It's a shame they're still on all blues, but they just really haven't had any good fights yet, right? 0 kills, 13 squads remaining. And as they keep tabs on where everything is going, they are on that northern side. You mentioned Unlimit, Zeta, Team Liquid, teams that are wrapping. But from the south, things are going to get difficult. Zeddy immediately finding pressure from Skittlecakes across the way. And RRQ and AG Global can hear this.
So we saw them take out Team Vision. Now they've been able to hold onto the high ground that we were looking at before. Team Nemesis are looking at them, but Zeddy are going to be able to move up into that next zone where they really only have to worry about Falcons, who were isolated in the compound, over to the south side of that choke that we saw earlier with the Mythic Bin, while Unlimit now move up. Looking at Team Liquid, for those of you wondering, they took a huge roundabout rotation, and now they are looking dead at Unlimit as Ulariman taking some shots off this G7, yeeting at the Wrecking Ball, but looking behind them is Elite, who want a chunk of the action. Team Liquid now moving around, playing off the rocks as Zero peppers into them. Unlimit get eliminated, and AG Global meet them in the lobby.
Team Liquid starting to heat up here in Olympus finally. Just takes to map 3, and we've moved up to 15th overall on the leaderboard. Riot drills happening as Zeddy Esports finding a home out on the rock. Let it eat, intercept all, but Dupe still the health ticking down as they work to stabilize.
Nemesis is trying to stabilize. Oh no, but Sacred can't catch a break. At least he's going to be able to hide right behind the gen, while Nemesis are looking to get the deadbox reps onto Albert lately, but having to be careful because Eddie right here is Duke. Now tries to fully swing onto him, but Skittle goes down. Former teammates, now enemies. As Sacred now tries to swing, playing off the knockdown shields, and look who tries to involve themselves from the high ground, forcing Deeds to back away. It's the pile up here, as Gaming Gladiators have not left from their position. They see the opportunity, they dive in, and now Sacred's left alone. But a huge shot from Sacred! Huge! As Wolves do take out the solo, but that's without Sacred taking on Gaming Gladiators next.
And that's what happens when you move into a stage with multiple teams. Everyone's looking for angles. And Zeta now in the building across from Elite. One kill. And into the Void Passage we go. The Riot Drill to try and finish off the damage. We've got a wingman, we've got plenty of bullets, and we're just gonna let it rip.
Dude, kinda.
The young gun.
He has been playing insane. 81 bullets though in the R9, taking some shots out of Yuka, who is going to be able to use that Void Passage, but taking their time as round 5 closes in right behind their backs now. This is going to be difficult for them to make this next rotate because it's only Wolves, For Fun, and Liquid in this next zone.
But the moment they move, that doorway gets opened up, and the Thermite, it's just proving to do so much damage to them, and we have little time. We're going to need to use that Maggie Ball for the rotation. And Zeta, Yuka still on the ground, Mike full health. He's trying to get the res before they roll, and Elite Esports has been eliminated.
I'm sorry, but No Name is the only name on my mind.
Thank
As
you.
GK now take out the final player. Onto here as Deeds goes down and Drop moves up, but he's literally one shot. Takes a portal, no way! Off the left side, he didn't mean to do that. He gets stunned, he gets slowed, and the rest of GK get eliminated. 6 squads left.
RRQ, so consistent, almost into the top 6.
Doing everything they can.
We lose out on Zeta.
The Hal proposition
Falcons are
hold
the
nahi
ones that
chahiye.
everyone seems to be looking at as they take down RRQ.
You can't make this up. Falcons on the opposite end of this final zone. With Liquid on the north side, Falcons taking away 5 total KP in their pockets with these remaining 4 squads. And with the Mythic bin, Hal has the Kraber. He's got the gold R9, and he's looking at the teams like For Fun that will have to move out of these buildings on the opposite side from Liquid Wolves Esports.
The best part about that is not only that, he grabs an L-Star, throws the Kraber on the ground. He's probably going to use the rest of the bullets, pick up the L-Star for endgame. Falcons are going to do so much damage in a little time once this circle collapses. But Wolves are the question on everyone's mind. They need 12 points to hit match point.
Wow.
So
close to the way that Wolves been playing. Hal, Kraber in hand with just 4 bullets. Not going to have the infinite ammo. L-Star in the other before backing away. Not having that amp is actually huge. I mean, look at this. They are starving in terms of ammo. Waltzy too with the gold hemlock, it looks like, with Wolves now taking their time and looking at For Fun.
And we have to talk about Team Liquid as well, right? On the other side, like you mentioned, they're going for a 2-1 split. The job of the solo is to keep Team Falcons from moving north and not rotating towards the east. Wolves and For Fun, at some time, you're going to have to hit these ults. With the Valk, though, on No Name, we know they like to take to the sky to see where everyone is and slam down at the end.
Wolves for Apex South now with 38 points alone after taking game number 2 on World's Edge with double-digit KP to destroy, or attempt to destroy the Watson. Spence's here backing away, the nades on No Name's feet. He doesn't have the Kraber like we saw just yesterday, but we know he's so quick with it, but have to deal with Team Liquid on the other side as they take this slow. Final zone closing behind their backs.
And Team Liquid give up the 2-1 split. They pull together and Wolves cross, make it straight onto For Fun. Tyler down, but a nade rips into the Wolves.
Lens goes down as Wolves go up in 4, but they got a huge amount of KP as Falcons move up. For Fun get eliminated. It's Falcons versus Liquid, but Falcons with the high ground. They take game number 3 on Olympus.
Moving into Olympus, Vicky. What was that going to look like with Falcons and Team Liquid at the bottom of the leaderboard? And both of those teams, first and second place in map number 3, they recognize there's a scramble to get to that 50, and if we let it go for too long, our chances dwindle each and every moment.
And let's not forget, Tiff, something that you pointed out. Falcons and Liquid were literally in dead last in this lobby before this game.
Yeah. It be like that sometimes, Vicky. It really do.
And the fact that both of them, by the way, with Falcons taking the lead over Liquid because they take that dub, but both of them got 7 as we see the CEO fans in the crowd.
That has to be just a sigh of relief because it can be such a momentum-based game. And you have to remember, Team Liquid, Team Falcons, these guys advanced on through the group stages. They didn't play through that 10-game gauntlet survival, so they had a day off. In a sense, those first 2 games they played, warm-ups. We're just getting started.
And they had some time to sit back and look at how the action played off here. As we get to see the fans, Team Falcons, they rise up, fly up, while Team Liquid do come right after them. 16 total points for this team, but it's so difficult to ignore what Wolves has been putting on as a masterclass, man. Like, are you kidding me? Already at 38 points, RRQ right behind him with 37. I mean, this top end of the overall standings, after just 3 games alone, is already looking to build its gap across the rest of the lobby.
Look, I tell you, that's why I wear sunglasses all the time. You saw me down in the metro, popping the sunglasses. I'm just trying to be like Strafing Flame, okay? But he hasn't had the capability to net a win just yet. But if you guys remember, we're here for match point finals. We don't care when you win. It's as long as you've got 50 points and you close it out with the win, that's when it matters.
It's almost like storyline too to see an estate ending like that, right? Olympus showing face with a completely whiplash of a zone pool than what we're used to seeing here. As we take a look at your match results, Falcons do take the dub with the 7 KP. Liquid to follow right behind in that second place finish, but the story of what Wolves and Team RRQ have been able to put in, being able to get the placement points, the KP on top of it, and then you look on the other side, it was unfortunate for Sentinels because that is their POI on Olympus and how they were able to try to hold things down in that middle building. We know that sometimes it could be a little difficult when everybody's staring at you in the lobby, but I'm hearing that we got an interview with one of the members of Wolves.
38 points to Wolves अच्छे Falcon चोरी वाला 5 नंबर का
3 map
वो चोरी वाला obviously 38 Wolves ना 37 RRQ Team Vision 35 हमें వచ్చే 20% ले wow. Wow. No problem.
Wolves Esports haven't played their game. You guys have been incredible. You guys have been taking space, getting aggressive, playing the way that you guys want to play. Now, I just want to ask, it seems like you guys are really comfortable today, even in this atmosphere. Does it feel that way?
也可以看得出，今天你们战队就是手感火热，就进攻性也打得非常非常的好，然后今天就明显你们状态好像今天非常特别的出色，你们是否也感觉如此呢？
对的，因为我觉得今天我的队友们的状态和自己就是精神的一个状态吧，都非常的好，所以我觉得今天我们是非常有信心的。
Absolutely, I feel like it's not just us being in good form, even our mental state. We are in absolute tip-top form, so we are very confident in going all the way here today.
I love that. I love the positivity. Now, having said that, it hasn't entirely been plain sailing throughout this tournament, but focusing on today, have you guys made any adjustments, given the level of teams that are in this lobby right now? And also, just to kind of back that question up, Map 2 was super impressive, winning on World's Edge. Is that your comfort map?
今天应该说这个比赛到这里来，你们这个路程也不算是完全顺利的，也是有碰到一些挫折的。但是今天能明显感觉出你们这个状态非常好。你们是做出了哪些调整吗？比方说当时图2你们已经成功的获胜了，那是因为那张图那张地图对你们来说是最顺手、最就是发挥最好的一张图吗？
其实也不算吧，因为我们是第2局的唯一一家纽卡索队伍，然后我觉得我们的战术储备也好，包括前面受到的挫折也好，都是让我们今天打得更好的动力吧。
I wouldn't say that the second map was like our best map, but I would say that the journey over here up to this point, every single loss that we've had, every single depth that we had. We learned something from it, and we've been developing as a team. And this is what allowed us to become who we are today, right here, right now.
Spoken like a true top team. I love that. Now let's touch base on that match 2 win once more. Did that boost the confidence and give you some momentum to think that this dream can now become a reality, that EWC victory?
你们刚才第2场的获胜，是否直接给了你们这种信心、这种动力，来让你们坚持冠军呢？
我觉得会的，我们一定会往最终的目标去冲。
The map 2 victory absolutely has, and right now our targets, our aim, our sight is aimed towards the grand champion.
Oh, I love that. Listen to that. That's great. Thank you so much for joining me in this interview. Oh, let's go with the shake. Thank you very much, Crazy Kong. Don't go anywhere because we've got another interview lined up. It's Rain Day with Zach.
That's right. Mazer moments redefined. That's been the last year for you, Zach, and Team Vision, of course. Loader and Carter, how has it been? I want to walk through that last game. You were a little upset. You and Hal were exchanging words on the stage because you thought you had the game-winning spot.
Yeah, I mean, we knew we were making a really good play. And we knew we were much closer to purple armor than the team in front of us. We knew it had a free walk-in and, I mean, basically a free game. And the Mythic spawned on them, which forced us to fight them early. We got third-partied, and we were the ones that died. And, you know, it's a battle royale at the end of the day. Sometimes the luck doesn't go your way, and that's what happened. Happy for them that they won, but, you know, I feel good that I still had a really good game plan, and I got to see them win a free game. If it worked out my way, different story.
Yeah, takeaway is that you were in the right position to take advantage of the success. Now, you did have success. You were the first team to jump out and win that game. What was, I guess, the environment of your team, knowing that, hey, guys, it's match point, we're performing going into game 2 and game 3, saying if we just keep this up, we are going to be on match point?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we feel really good about it. We went in today feeling individually like we're favorites amongst, you know, Apex fans we may not be, but we're really confident in our abilities. And after we won that first game, it really validated that feeling. And I don't really think we're going to slow down. I mean, that game may have only been 1 point, but it was a great game plan ruined by an unlucky Mythic. And I don't think there's going to be too many more games.
Okay, you said if this game goes 9 or 8, you've done something wrong. Just expand on that very quickly before we head out with this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on 35 points. I'm 15 off match point. We just finished game 3. If this goes to 9, that means that I had many chances on match point and I failed, and I'm not going to let that many get away from me, so.
All right, well, there's a good juju here. I think the last team I interviewed on stage won the next game, so we'll see if you can continue it. Zach Mazer from Team Vision. So much more ALGS Match Point Finals coming up, so don't go anywhere.
Let's go. তাহলে কেতটা ম্যাচ 3টা সরলা না 3টার ভাই পিলা পয়েন্ট
3টা সরিছে 3টা সরিছে
3টার 38 পয়েন্ট গলানি হেভি স্পিড চলছি গেম
LGS is coming out রে LGS আসছে
হ্যাঁ LGS আসছে না এটা ভাই তো
স্প্লিট অক্টোবর যাবে
হ্যাঁ স্প্লিট 2 এটা স্প্লিট 2 স্প্লিট 1 এটা হচ্ছে না স্প্লিট 1 এটা তার স্প্লিট 2 তারপরে এলজিএস ফাইনালটা পুরা যেটা গ্র্যান্ড ফাইনালটা হবো সেই সাউথ পাউলোরে সাউথ পাউলো নু তো সেটা আমরা জাপান
লাস ভেগাস রে আছে তো
না না সেটা তো জাপান লে আছে ফাইনালটা না এটা তো স্প্লিট 2টা লাস ভেগাস রে আছে
ওহো
এসপোরো না কোন ওটা জায়গা না সেটা জাপান লো সেইটা আছে.
We've always been the underdog. When we were able to rise up and as a region, as a team, win that EWC championship in 2025, that was just, how can you not love that story?
This roadmap has made me very proud of to being one of the MDY fans.
An exciting first 3 matches here at Match Point Finals.
Skin sore pode kare. Oh yeah, amar mythic skin da.
Before we break those 3 games down, let's talk about the Esports World Cup Creator Program, which is running parallel to the live competition. Every streamer can apply via the EWC website to co-stream EWC and engage with their viewers to earn rewards. So make sure you check that out. And while we're at it, let's see if we can actually get a quick quick interview with one of those content creators, which is going to be none other than Sid from SAUL. Because right now, SAUL, I mean, we're expecting them to start off hot, but at the moment, they're not doing that great. Do you think they're going to be able to bounce back, Lace?
I mean, my prediction is SAUL, and we've seen them do it before. It is getting a little bit too close and a little bit too cutthroat at the moment. As you can see, you know, we just had an interview with Zach there, and he's like, we're going to do this. Everyone is hungry for it.
All right. Well, hey, Sid, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi.
How are you enjoying the tournament so far?
EWC is a big thing for us. It's like a festival back here in India, so I'm having fun. It's been a fun ride. Group stages were insane. Slow start, but I think we can still get it.
All right, yeah, you mentioned it. Slow start, Lace.
Yeah, we got the same brain. I'm on SAUL. We got the same team. You know, I put them as my prediction. So we don't want slow and steady, but, you know, they're going to come out of the gate now. What I wanted to ask you, do you have any words of encouragement right now for the boys on SAUL?
What else can I say? You know, they are being backed by two of the most passionate sporting nations in the world. We have insane passion in the audience. I just hope they win because I want them to come to India and we are going to treat them like kings. We're going to pick them up on our shoulders and take them to our gaming house and then party there. So yeah. What else can I say? I just hope they make it. It's just 3 games. It's a slow start, but I think they have it in them to take the win.
That's right. I'm going to run down on stage for you and tell you got to get lifted up on some shoulders. So let's pull it in, boys.
That's right. Thank you so much, Sid, for joining us. Don't forget that you can also join the Esports World Cup Creator Program. Just go to the EWC website to sign up. But now let's talk about this past 3 games because my goodness, we have gotten some big surprises and we're actually going to start off with the winners of the last game. They didn't start off too hot, but we finally see a bit of a bounce back here from Team Falcons.
I said it before, you can never count them out, and the reason is that they are so comfortable in the heat of the moment, in these tournaments where the stress is at the most. If they make it to finals, people might not say they're winning, but when they win, everybody's like, yeah, that's usually what happens.
And if they don't win, people talk louder, don't they?
Oh yeah, even more so.
I mean, you had them coming in.
After
seeing those first 3 games, do you still feel like they're underperforming, or could this be a bit of a switch?
I mean, they needed that win big time. They were in 20th place, I want to say, before they were going into that game. But this is kind of what we've seen in the group stages. You know, they won game 1 or game 2, and then they start to fizzle out. So we're going to see if that continues here. But we know that Falcons usually performs best in these big lobbies with the best teams in it because they can predict what better teams are going to do better than they can predict what the worst teams are going to do. So for them to have that big game, a massive confidence boost, and I definitely think that they can carry that momentum open. You know, this has been like probably the least we've talked about them, like I said, but there's always a chance you can never count a team like this out.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, going to the overall ranking, you can see Wolves Esports in first place right now by just 1 point. Don't forget, though, the match point is set at 50. Then after that, they have to make sure they secure a win. And I'm going to actually go to Team Vision, back to you, Snipe, because, man, this squad actually started off hot.
Yeah, I'm so pumped for this team because they had the most wins in all of North America. They came into this tournament. They know how to win games. Zach Mazer with his IGLing, they win 50% of the games that they get to top 5. We'd already seen them in 2 top 5s. 1 win, 1 not. And, you know, I wonder if game 2 is going to come back and bite them a little bit because they really did leave a power position to go put themselves to clean up some kills. I know they wanted that KP. They want to get to that match point format, but at the same time, you don't need to change your game. You just got to get there. And we saw what happened last game. They focused too much on Falcons. They got flanked. Someone wasn't watching their back. I kind of wonder what the comms are like there. But overall, I know for a fact that this team is someone that everyone needs to be worried about because they can win games in a match point format. That's what you need to do.
I mean, the scary point that a lot of IGL should really look at is the fact that Zach said, I saw the game-winning play, and this happened, and he still made a play, but he was 1 fight away from being able to close out that game. If you're an IGL and you're like consistently being able to put yourself into endgame, 1 fight away from winning, you've done your job really, really good.
Yeah, and a team that was actually able to perform really well in group stages, coming off first place. Elite Esports not having one of the hottest stars here, Lace, as I mean, right now they are just not looking good, alongside with SAUL, sadly.
Yeah, we were all, you know, obviously the group stages showed us something completely different for Elite. They were able to come out swinging and maintain those high points, high kills as well. Nothing is happening for them at the moment, which is a little bit of a crazy sort of feat for them. Of course, you know, with 3 games down, a few more left to go, no one's on match point finals yet, so it's not out for them, but why are they not showing up right now?
Okay, ladies, I'm gonna say this once, I'm gonna say this twice. First off, scrims, lies. And then online, lies. And now we're in group stages, lies. So we don't know if they can keep up the momentum run. They haven't gotten it started, but I mean, we'll have to see. So far, it seems though, a lot of these experienced players coming out and really showing up why they were once at the top and they can reach top again.
I mean, talking about elite players, right? One team that is also down there towards the bottom, NIP. I thought maybe the experience that they got out of survival, we're going to be seeing that momentum carry over here, but at the moment, Snipe, that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, they've only been improving throughout this tournament, and for them to start off slow is a bit of a surprise to me. I thought they were going to carry that momentum forward with everything that they've been doing, but I mean, we just watched 2 teams in 19 and 20 end up top 2 in that last game and propel themselves forward, so we are still early in this set, but we heard Zach, he says, you know, if it goes 8 or 9, then something's going wrong because they're starting so strong. I really think that we are going to continue to see teams elevate themselves. We might see Elite win the next game. We have so many amazing teams in this lobby that, you know, it's anyone's game yet. We don't even have a single team on match point yet.
I mean, just to quickly touch on that, we saw it on match 2. They made that crazy rotate into zone, but they had difficulty bunkering and holding it down. So it's, yeah, definitely NIP might need to do something like a little bit different from that. But yeah, I mean, they're getting into that position, but they were getting peppered in match 2, which, yeah, they're finding it difficult just to keep that building and stay in there.
I mean, honestly, the biggest thing is that the map is changing all the time. You don't really get to set your footing. So this is the most fun part of every stage of this tournament. It's very different. Is that you go from we're playing 10 games in a 3-2-2-3, and now you're swapping maps constantly. You have to keep adapting, and that really goes to show why these teams are that strong and why they keep coming up ahead is because they're so adaptable.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things about that last game specifically was, you know, the states every team was getting peppered by the Maggie and the drills, and the teams that really dominated that game were the ones playing the edge and not putting themselves in the center. All the teams, the NIPs, you know, we saw Sentinels, everyone blasting in the center of the map. All the space around the edge. Falcons had so much space, and that was interesting to see how much the comps come into play when it comes to this.
That's right. I mean, with Wolves only being 12 points away from hitting match point in this last game, I know the crowd's going to be going wild. So it's Tiff and Vicky, because this game 4 is going to be insane.
Thank you so much, because the arena is heating up. I mean, the fact that we are already 3 games down as we transition onto a different map. Falcons are soaring now up from the leaderboards now to the top, and we hear the confidence from Wolves when it comes to leading the pack, and currently Wolves are leading the pack with 38 total points. I love hearing the insight from Zach Major, how he really wanted to pry out that unfortunate spot on the mythic bid, but specifically that lot. But now you have to make this adaptation when it comes to match point finals, because no team is on that 50-point threshold.
Yeah, exactly. And as we move over to back-to-back maps on E-District, you have to start looking at the teams that focus on E-District to get the most points. You mentioned Wolves. Well, guess what they grabbed in their POI draft? Humbert Labs, a big contention point, because we've seen a lot of draft point. We've seen Humbert. We've also seen Energy Bank and the Rogue City Hall, in which Team Nemesis is landing in. But a lot of teams that are still at the top of the leaderboard that could eclipse 50 points here are RQ. 38% of their points from the past week come from this map. It is their best performing map throughout our series. And if we have 2 maps back to back, let's say we eclipse 50, do we go in win condition and win it on E-District? But here's the deal. They haven't won a map yet this week.
Ooh, that's actually crazy to think too. As we take a look at the fans, but you have to keep that in mind. I love that incentive. Yeah, because it's the back-to-back E-District that we are going to have for match 4 and 5. So it really depends on how a lot of these teams prio that when it comes to their POIs, and how we're going to see if some of these zone pools cool, because it's kind of been a very similar situation, right? When it comes to predicting how these zone pools have been on E-District alone.
And we were also kind of wondering, would we see a Mad Maggie ban? Would we get a Watson ban? We actually get the Watson ban on Olympus here. here, so we could see a ton of Mad Maggies come through yet again with that riot drill, bullying a ton of our teams in these buildings. I looked at Alliance, who are landing in Street Market, and we did get some endings in that vicinity, which honestly, for a team like Alliance that's kind of further down the leaderboard, you want to traverse more space. You want to have to fight for that position, to rack up those kills, to jump up the leaderboard. And like you heard with that interview, looking at the head-to-head, this team on your screen, guys, 0 there, second place in the last map. Waltzy, first place in the last map. We saw a 1v1 earlier in the group stage, but we're tied on kills right now. But you know what? Could one of these guys break a tie for the week and just lift the trophy at the end?
Maybe when they aren't taunting yet, right? You gotta wait to the very end.
Would you fight Waltzy in like an arm match, like an arm
got me messed up, girl.
Bro can put up like what, like 50, 100 pounds each arm?
Dude, his biceps like the size of Hal's head. It's actually insane. It's actually crazy, dude. Like, what? I mean, this is the way you start elevating the vibes and the morale of the team. You already know, and you're looking ahead as we get started here on E-District.
Yo, RRQ there just for a brief moment as they get ready to get into the arena. Honestly, I can't tell right now if the Wolves fans, RRQ, or the Alliance fans are the loudest, because Zeta, they're throwing some shade up there too. They're so wild in here.
That's what I like to hear in the crowd, live from Paris. The energy is unmatched when it comes to our Apex Legends Global Series. Energy in the crowd for our lands.
There's nothing quite like an ALGS LAN. So the fact that all of you are here in Paris to witness all of the action live just goes how much to show. You guys are dedicated to Apex Legends. You are dedicated to the players. You are dedicated to the community. So why not get into it? Let's move to E-District.
As we move in, and we got game number 4 on the horizon. We've said goodbye, by the way, to Watson as she was tied in our legend picks together with Mad Maggie. Imagine just getting drilled from afar when it comes to playing inside these buildings, especially when it comes to the teams that will be using the these ultras that you could absolutely expect going into E-District.
All right, now as we look at match number 4, Legend Select has occurred, and Guild is on Caustic. A ton of Maggies throughout, so there's a good chance that we are going to witness a Maggie ban with a 100% pick rate. Alters are 16 of them in the lobby, which means Wraith only 3. Definitely going to be using the Altars Void Passage a lot more to navigate all the different buildings throughout. But here's the deal, guys. That cost is really nice when you think about hitting ring consoles and where you have to go. Information is critical, and to the north we go. Team Nemesis just there, hovering at City Hall, popping an evac tower. They don't have a ring console, right? So that's going to be difficult for them because they may look to grab any kind of information. With that catalyst, they want a ring console.
That's really important to note, too, with the way that a lot of these teams are already quick with this rotate, maybe trying to get that insight with these survey beacons, too, but now trying to play a little bit behind while AG Global do move out of resort. After getting that survey beacon and just trying to wait things out, they're 2 Evo Harvesters on the outskirts of where the zone is going to be pulling. But once again, it's kind of been that City Hall zone whenever we see these zone pools.
The preference of Sparrow as well for the survey beacons and being able to use the arrow not actually have to get it is quite nice for Wolves. Over at Humbert did have a ring console, and with their catalyst have already moved just to the south of Energy Bank. But SA Evo was hyped on the desk. And for now, trying to poke at Sentinels, our former ALGS champs back just a few months ago in Sapporo. Blinkster, who hails the Canadian American, is an absolute savage when it comes to here. But it seems now for a disengage.
And being the first team to go out in that last game, too, is tough. But this is a team with great vibes with the way that they can just reset and have a good time. Talk about having these slower starts while GG, right alongside them, do hear him actually getting control over onto this light arsenal, and thankfully with that portal play that he also put down just for some insurance, he does manage to back away. Blinkster is locked in right now, too. He's able to also get the scan onto the crate dropping down from above. Get some more of this Evo charge too before looking ahead of the teams who may have found themselves up in the high ground by that building, because we know coming out of City Hall, there is that high ground that we see a lot of these end zones end up pulling towards.
Just imagine what would happen if they hit the back-to-back.
Solo team
That would
है
just go to show how good of an IGL Blinkster is and how fantastic Monsoon and Fun are. But back to Wolves, who only need 12 points. How many times have we witnessed over this past week, not only No Name going crazy, but Crazy Kong and Wen alongside them. Some of the most fantastic end-game plays.
Crazy Kong too, ramping up with the rest of Wolves. After dominating Pro League in APAC South now, looking to dominate the overall standings as Wolves now move up. And a lot of these other teams have found themselves around these chokes. Falcons neighboring that of Liquid, by the way, where Liquid do want to get control over that circle beacon. Together with Wolves now wrapping up on the southern side, though, as they go through this highway. Nobody in the vicinity other than Alliance coming out of Blossom Drive, where there is a ring console themselves.
And they've had 3 wins, 3 second places, and if that doesn't define consistency, I don't know what does. RRQ is right there with them, and that's why they're in the top 2. However, just a few points separating our top 3 as Zach with Team Vision, 35 points, and Team Nemesis looking to get some, but through the Void Passage, Ninjas and Pajamas go with their greatest game.
You know how I feel about this character here, Tiff. The legend that is Alter. Bandit solution when it comes to allowing these teams to get this reset, to get aggressive before diving down. Even bigger, when it comes to utilizing that Void Passage to get onto the high ground for free as Savior. The legend who we have highlighted so many times in the split one playoffs. So imagine that. Be careful too with the drill. This is what we were expecting when it comes to these teams trying to coexist inside these
And Sacred, who spent since 2019 wanting to be a pro, wanting to be here on a main stage alongside the people that he's looked up to for so long. But back to GK, honestly, Vicky, they've been kind of floating under the radar this week, right? They kind of just get in there in a nice spot. Knocked though, already out. Keon and Drop trying to get him back.
Slow here too.
ये सही तरह ये वाला जेड़ा पोटा है ये कुछ
take. Sniper to his back, trying to see if they can at least get knocked back. But now when you talk about the catalyst, a lack of catalyst at that too. The wall's coming up, and Wolves, the team that we just interviewed, have now yeeted out the wrecking ball, playing off the other side of the piercing spikes too. After looking at a team who's been playing Sparrow, trying to shoot at the dark when it comes to this wrecking ball, but playing it safe inside the corners of the bathroom.
But the reason this is important is a 12-point is an above-average game, right? So being able to go on to win condition after this would be key. Give you as many games in your pocket to convert before other people eclipse 50. So every fight, every shot is going to matter. You have to be perfect this game.
And a lot of teams are noting that, right? Hearing those interviews, imagine how that fuels some of our teams and trying to cut off these rotations when you know off the POI drive what that rotation may look like. As we see a flyby with RRQ being another one of those teams, but they're going to be hanging out over the middle part of Energy Bank. There is no team around here. I mean, they're just going to get the information off the survey beacon and the ring console. So they're just going to be playing objective, but it's that big pile-up that's happening over on where the zone is pulling.
And it's a little more of an aggro comp for them, right? The Mad Maggie, Alter, Sparrow, they're focused on getting kills, throwing down damage, and completely assaulting whatever team lies in their path.
20 spots left.
Nemesis still in the building, still holding it down. You've got Falcons on your screen, your most recent map winners, who have now gotten further up the leaderboard, not quite where they want to be just yet, but into the top 5 they are. For that circle, we pop just a bit north of where Team Nemesis are, so that's going to favor Team Falcons. But my thing is, where is Team Vision? Based off the interview with Zach, being able to outline what that game-winning fight is. Is it against Falcons? Do they see the same thing? Are they going to move against each other? Because here comes Team Liquid from the north as well. And those 3 powerhouses keep hitting against each other early.
And I just really love the insight from Zach Mazer, noting that if he would have controlled that building first, it was unfortunate with the Mythic bin spawning there and encouraging Falcons to also situate themselves there. I mean, what would have been that endgame, right? If they had found that spot first and not gone in third party. I like being able to see the what-ifs here as Vision now take a roundabout out of zone rotation to come out of resort to play off the back end of where Falcons is. They did hear the evac tower, by the way, so Falcons may now look behind them since there's 16 altars in this lobby that allows a reset with the Void Nexus.
And there's something you have to think about. Falcons are the only team out of Team Vision, Team Falcons, and the team we were talking about that have the caustic, right? So they can get ring consoles. Everyone else, you have to realize, hey, if there's a team by me that has access to a ring console, there's a good chance they have that information, and we play off them. But Interforce 36, meanwhile, have been going through it. Juzna the fortress, the gas fortress.
He is pretty safe, even if he is a solo. You can see just the caustic traps settled all over that bottom floor. Now, it really depends on how E36, though, as just is forced to move. How he can try to get away. He's trying to dance around them, though. He can't get around the corner because the 30-30 has claimed his head and has claimed E36 as the first team to go out in this lobby.
Those 30-30s, the moment you hear it, it's like second worst to those Kraber shots. You just know.
You clench.
You're like, oh man, it's coming for my head at this point. But nice job there for Nemesis to use their high ground and those line of sights to grab kills because they haven't left where they've been for Team Vision, like we were talking about, right? Using Sparrow, Alter, and Mad Maggie similarly to RRQ to go aggro. Their objective right now is to eclipse 50, and that is all that matters.
Oh, wait, hold on. Crazy Kong going down, and now the Arc Star, the nades in No Name's direction. He gets knocked next. This is so hard. Once he sees the TP from the other side, he's trying to play around it, being on the other side, but he can't stay alive. Elite come out on top, and they clean that up so quick.
And that's what a fight looks like when you don't have Watson. Let's just put it that way. You don't have the pylon to intercept those nades. You don't have the perimeter security to break through. And even with the catalyst, the piercing spikes, the reinforcement of the doors could not stop the onslaught that Elite brought to their door.
It was a very nice clean fight too, right? They did it very quickly with the nades that they were able to put right at their feet. Going down now as our second team, though. This opens the gate for a lot of other squads to try to, a little cheeky portal there. At least Ref's trying to move forward because there is a team trying to harass Elite Vision. Remember we talked about how they were able to take an evac tower to play on the edge of resort side.
All right, look at this right now. Zeros out towards their left in a 2-1 split for Team Liquid. They rip Carter down on the front lines. And this is where you have to stabilize because Team Liquid, once they smell weakness, do descend upon it. And Zero on the altar with the movement capabilities to make it happen. But they're being smart about it. They're not going in with their blinders on. They pick the knob. They know the resets coming with Alter still in the lobby.
Literally, like just having that Void Nexus. Once again, it's like the insurance that allows these teams to get these free resets, but Liquid not overextending, hold the side of zone. While on the other side, though, for fun, looking like they're not having a lot of fun because Team Nemesis are taking a picking out of them. Let's see as Tyler tries to jump down. Sees Nax, though, on the back end side because he's a player on the other end of the stairs. And now moving up, I believe they're peeking to the possibility of a third party, forcing Tyler back away.
This is not good. The Mythic Fin is just south of this fight. And Nemesis, Ninjas in Pajamas, all send for fun. That's what I'm talking about. The distance, these angles that you can have in E-District once you get to this area of the map on the building. We're still not in the circle, right? So get all the loot that you need here for Ninjas in Pajamas and focus north.
And the third party was there, but it was a duo of GK where there is a replicator on top of Team Nemesis and as well as a Mythic Bin. So now GK move up, try to harass the one solo of Team Nemesis who is on that Mythic Bin. But Skittle Cakes has the high ground. It's like looking to see if he can give him some press fire.
It's definitely a Hunger Games cornucopia if you're going for that kind of vibe. Like you're like, oh wait, I get my teammate back and I get a Mythic Bin, but Nemesis, they're not gonna let you have it. Sacred, eating with the RE45. I'm gonna need you to get some energy ammo and feel a little better as we move to circle. But just one more player left of GK.
The fact that Monsoon 2 also finds Lifka action non-stop. Sacred, every time I'm looking at this player, man, he's always got the RE45 in his hand, and with the Mythic Bin in their favor, having a lot more walking away from this building because they will have to start inching to the north, where it will be pulling, not towards the high ground where we've expected time and time again, but on the bridge on the north side of City Hall, where Vision, Zach himself, called it out on this rotate, where Liquid was neighboring them.
Well, they're going to have a big fight later with AG Global for that power position on the west. Elite Esports on your screen on the south side. For Falcons, who have just rotated in. Find a spot and Guild getting the Caustic Barrels down. Immediately covering their path. And they start looking back, right, the right drill, the nades coming. We saw Elite Esports do this once before, and Waltzy throws out the Maggie Ball to try and prevent the slaughter, and through the Void Passage we go.
Especially when it comes to that Stinger Bolt, the direct counter and trying to deal with so many caustics in this lobby. And now Vision looking to see if they can cancel his res. Back away, Zach is away, Zach is going to be off this just so he can get his own Stinger Bolt, but with the Jetbox Rez, they bring back are still covering NIP, by the way. Now as they're going to be able to get the trade up to Skittle Rez because it was the causing nades. NIP do get eliminated, so do GK. That is going to be Legacy picking that up onto Puro.
And the battle of the South is not over by any means. S8UL actually trying to make their presence known as Reject. Move in on Team Nemesis. You're going to have a lot of angles down there as Team Vision still keep tabs on AG Global. Bunkered outside a building.
And this is what we're seeing up in the kill feed because Nemesis are down to what looks like a solo. It's just Sacred hiding behind these knockdowns. It's Elite moving up, but there's a 3P of Reject up on the high ground. Elite having to be careful. Do not allow Reject to take that KP away from them. Team Nemesis are get eliminated and AG involved with Team Vision down into this building.
Niazul's full, Jaguar's on the ground, and Yanya right there. Thanks to Sparrow giving us the information, tracking him where he's going. AG Global eliminated Panic, dealing the finishing blows.
And that's what Team Liquid looking at how that fight was going. They wanted a time at 3P, but Vision had timed that themselves really well with the way that they took over the building off from away from the AG, and Liquid took
Team has
silent here is Team RRQ all the way in the north. Two teams north of Team Liquid. For the Falcons, however, the south side is going to be kind of difficult with S8UL and Sentinels on the horizon, but through the Void Passage we go, what does that look like? But I wanted to see the north, and here we go.
The bottom side on this bridge is RRQ, one of our teams. See the
down.
I'm on the we need to get 195. I think that they might be walking at us. Be able to boost themselves up. This actually opens the game for Team Vision. That's Team Liquid.
Sentinel দুইজন আছে
Yeah, they got the rest pretty sure. 11 squads. Making underneath big building. Zach is fragging out. He finished us off. Hockeys, we heard the interview. You hear the confidence. And now
we got there's a pin on a Maggie next to us. I think I got my Maggie. Yeah, I'm going 30. Can we swing them again?
As we lose Unlimited. Sentinels are still encircled and everyone's vying to get there.
At match point, as Reject do get eliminated, Sentinels have been falling as well.
ये Sentinel push करवाने रिजन है gladiator fight होगी gladiator
to get this res, but Vision has been harassing these teams in their line of sight.
When you have Alliance also in the vicinity, there are some shooters. We know that Loader and Zach are going to have their jobs cut out for them. They are the furthest out. We do have Zach, but with your altar down, movement is going to be tough. Carter needs to be rezzed here. The reset, critical to their game.
Liquid Alliance
so much heavy now. Got the AD as well if anyone needs. He managed to get away right behind Zach while he's standing on this shield. Elite. Looking down onto Vision. Falcons lose out on their Mad Maggie now, forced to play things out as a duo. Looking to see if they can at least reset, but they still wrecking ball. Has Elite, see Vision, the beaming, it's up to Zach. But there's too many people looking down as Vision are the next to go, and Elite get to see another day.
And they reset. They reset.
They're dying underneath. I'm trying to pick over a little bit.
Drop down and go for it. Instead, it's Team Liquid.
He's cracked. He's knocked him off. It's just Maggie.
As Zero moves up, takes up Henchman. Now playing up
the
here of the middle console. They get eliminated. Left though. Looking behind him because there's another team that were harassing Elite before.
Zeddy Esports in the mix here as well. So multiple teams. And Zeddy, with the timing, you have to think about this, right? They could just throw down and third party this with ease. This engagement, and here comes Zeddy.
Alive here as a duo from the other side.
We might be. They're not fucking.
As Falcons are still in this lobby.
Winners of match 3. Your Titans climbing the leaderboard. However, they're just a duo.
Gladiator Falcon.
Recognize this, but with Blast being
the drill. Pepper bring in today.
Should be team line here. Team line.
He's still alive.
Can I pick him up? I'm trying to pick him up.
With the core
भाई मारिए 120 मारिए हेडा
who have been far
They're
in
getting
this
through
side
bottom.
of zone now. Look at
Return
SAU.
I'm relying on the
Who is so consistent with
If
his weapon.
they walk it outside, we can fuck them with drills and I'd
Turn
favor.
it around here on E District. 8 kills
I mean,
for the team.
it's
So many
with
Kraber
us.
shots
Okay,
connecting.
yeah.
Here's the deal. It's infinite ammo. We can open up these
you want
fights.
Pappy
But do not
stuff?
forget about Hackis, the Alter, who's laying low. Imagine what he can do. We've seen him play Wraith as a solo in endgames. We get as many placement points as we can. But we could convert this if we time it right.
We get the Terminator here. We've seen this before.
Might be able to get like
Alive,
backside here after.
waiting for the 3v3 of Sentinels and SAUL with Sentinels.
I got
Advantage in terms of their positioning on that side. High ground legacy pinging
I
over.
don't have drill for them. Can we get to the other side here and just kill fucking bottom team? Ready? 3, 2, I don't have drill.
Bringing in also the caustic barrels to at least give him the space.
Respawn for
Nice.
Nice fucking game, fucking game, boys. Who the fuck cares? We are in the lobby. We are in the fucking lobby. Yeah, we're playing, right? Yeah? Good fucking shit, man. We're in.
King of the hill.
That's what we fucking needed, guys.
Maybe like
Sentinels with their first win of
Bro,
the year.
the entire fucking stadium is watching you wall bounce fucking nose scope right here. Good fucking game.
This is what matters. Lock it in on match point finals.
That was nasty. The fact that he pulled off that res, the fact that they still won that fight against SAUL was a match, but it was Sentinels at 9 KP to take game number 4. They held that side of zone for so long. We saw their names lining up to kill P2. And that was with them going out front in our previous game. Let's not forget what happened on Olympus and now turn things around to get the win.
That was a good game from them, right? When you start to think about it, they started in Canal Plaza. We're going to the north. It's such a quick rotate for them. They're allowing themselves to set up in Godspot. But not only that, they defend all of the sieges towards their building. They are our ALGS champs from Sapporo, guys. There's a reason they are this dang good. And you've got to give it to SAUL, right? Sure, third place in that match. But what they did, they had the caustic ult. They were poised on resources and abilities for that endgame fight. But Alliance Hackis getting that reset as we kind of dive back to our top 5. This is where you see Falcon swing the duo of GG and that Hackis push as they're coming down. Because that's what he has to do. They see the res go off. They're going to jump on it. So Hackis goes up to put the pressure on them first.
The bait is insane. I mean, the fact that they even lost that fight, allowing Monsoon to wrap right behind the man to take the win. I mean, we'll take that any day. SAUL, they were hungry. They wanted to dive onto the res. Hockey says, come to me real quick. They get second place. And Sentinels just clean up on aisle 3. And we even saw Blink a few times get a kidnap, as he's usually known for, to kind of kickstart this momentum for them on E District. You love the energy in the crowd. You love that Alliance, by the way, slide through into a second place spot for game number 4. And again, we also have to mention that it is the back-to-back E District.
That's right, we're going back. Honestly, it's kind of crazy. The Sentinels literally throw 1 Mad Maggie Ball and 7 bullets and clean up that fight. They're like, you'll take these 12 placement points. Let's see how many kills we got. 9 kills, a 21-point game. Do you know how good that is to get you back into it, right? And for Zach, who was saying, like, if we're still going to game 9, I made a mistake. They just needed 12 points. We got half of that. We got 6.
They're getting close, though.
They are. They're incredibly close. Alliance there with an 11-point game. If that is kind of our floor, our dud for a game, going into the top 3 as a solo and bringing everyone back, it's a little unfortunate that I only got 2 kills from that. But it's Team Nemesis who started in City Hall. Yes, they went out in 14th, but if you're going out in 14th with 7 kills from your building, that just goes to show you how good you were defending everyone that was full sending you. It's just not quite enough. We need a 20-pointer. We need a banger.
And even trying to take a safer rotation, right? Until we saw this collapse of a fight. Taking a look at some of these highlights of the end game here with Team Liquid now having to go from the under part of the bridge. I really do like this zone pool too, because then you have to mention Sentinels who were clearing their back end of the POI that they have been in, and ZE2 making a mention as in these last five squads, Waltihog got him down earlier, but with the Mad Maggies in this lobby, Tiff, it was a bloodbath with that drill. We won't be seeing her anymore. No more with the Warden, as I like to call her. And SAUL, they wanted the shiny object of the res before their eyes, before Sentinels. It was with the Wrecking Ball and a nice strike to take that game.
Ooh, and with Mad Maggie gone, does that mean Gibby coming out? Does that mean?
Oh yeah, 100%.
We go and see our Gibby boy, but there it is yet again. That end win for Sentinels, dominating the fashion, timing it to perfection. Guys, we're literally just getting started here at the Year 6 ALGS Split 1 playoffs at EWC, and I could not be more excited.
I know, right? I mean, the fact that we are going on to game number 5 after hearing our interviews, after hearing how confident our IGLs are feeling, but now you take a look at Sentinels turning things around, and after getting that win alone brought them up to those 21 total points, with Alliance coming in second place. That could make a difference. We heard it from Lace too, as SAUL kind of started off slow, ramping up here. They didn't get that second place spot or that first place finish, but it was the 9 KP that they at least got in their pocket.
And that is a big deal for them, right? Because sometimes with SAUL, yes, they can get themselves the win, but maybe it doesn't have enough kills to go alongside. So if you're getting the 7 placement points and 9 kills, 15 points. Wait, hold on, time out. Pause for this.
50 গেল না ম্যাচ পয়েন্ট হচ্ছে
ম্যাচ পয়েন্ট হচ্ছে 50
Yeah, you're nasty, Legacy. You're nasty. We love that. For overall rankings, guys, remember the key number is 50. That is what we want. Teams that are 12 points away. I'm looking at the Apex South squads of Wolves Esports and Team RRQ. Team Vision. You guys heard it. 4-9 games. Well, blame him, I guess.
Well, you know what's also scary too is
जो टीम 50 कला ताको जितबे पड़िबो तो
they're at 38 points. They're a few points away from overtaking Vision in this first place spot. We can easily welcome 3 teams here at match point, depending on how this rolls out for game number 5.
We went how many games last year, Vicky? You were there. 13. It was a gauntlet.
It was crazy.
Worse than a survival stage. But you know what? With match point finals, my favorite thing is one more game.
It is. We got some more Apex on the horizon. The fact that you even see the Kraber shots, that's 2-1 deal. We'll absolutely take that. As we see a nice little flyby of our pros and what this means and how these teams were now able to turn things around. Maybe a slow start for some of these teams, but with the back-to-back on E-District, it sets the likes and Sentinels to take this momentum and roll into Game 5 with it.
I'm ready to see it. And we got the Wolves. That's actually such a gnarly fan right there. Like, how cute is that?
That's
looks
simple.
so fluffy. Well, the Wolves fans, they have the most intricate things. Look behind, like where our studio desk is over there. Did you see like the anime inspired go? Monsoon Riley, yeah. That's actually sick.
I love the fans and I love the signs in the crowd, guys. Get ready because we got E-District on the other side here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
50 ପହଞ୍ଚିବାକୁ ପଡିବ ନା ସାଉ ଆଗ
50 ଆगे ପହଞ୍ଚେ ପଡିବ ଆମେ SAUL କେତେ ହେଲା 20 ଆଉ 30 ପଏଣ୍ଟ ଆମେ ଫୁଲ ଦେଲା ମ୍ୟାଚ ପଏଣ୍ଟ एलिजिबल तापर मैच ଆମେ चैंपियन गले माने आ जे टीम जे पर्सनल थे मते मैटर करने ଆମେ चैंपियन हेले
वॉलीबॉल गेम रोल लाइटा वॉलीबॉल जंती गेम रोलडा अछि सही होय हाल लास्ट जंती मैच पॉइंट खुलले तार जे तापर ये करलो से जितला
देख बुझी जो आराम से मूवी जान नथिले मु या पूर्व तर वीडियो इंटरनेट देखथिली केते बुझिली
मते बहुत पहला
मु एपेक्स नहीं खेलते आसे ये जो मैच देखली बोले ऐसे तो लेटर खेलला मु तो देखियो ट्राई करियो खेलना देना तापर कोइले मु आदि को माने आदि कोतला मु एपेक्स खेलली मु नि खेलती गयो तो से कहला हां तापर मु इंस्टॉल कर लेगी
Welcome back to the ALGS Split 1 playoffs here at Esports World Cup 2026, and we are closing in on our first team hitting match. Has been fantastic so far. With those 3 gentlemen on your screen, Sentinels getting their first win.
Sentinels one of the best performing E-District teams we have in this tournament. They now raise their average to 10 points per game. 50% of Sen's points have come from this map as well. So I'm not
not surprised that they finally put that win on the board and put themselves up there.
Interesting though, this is the team that I want to focus on. This team right here from APAC South, criminally, and I am taking the blame for this as much as anyone, underspoken about. One of the most consistent teams in the Apex Legends Global Series. And when we talk about E-District Dan, which is where we're going back to now, some of the most stand-out statistics you could possibly ask for.
And you saw what they were able to do, getting into that final circle, putting points on the board. They are the best E-District team that we have in this tournament, averaging 12 points per game. Again, 50% of their points have come from E-District as well. So SAUL will definitely be a focus going into this next one, as will Elite Esports and Reject, two more teams that have been able to put on a lot of points on this map.
Well, let's see who continues their form, or if someone is going to jump up and make themselves known as we head back to E-District now for match number 5. The match point finals
continue. Competitive game
we are so close now for one of these teams crossing
Battle
that match
game
point threshold, but it is still not guaranteed. Vision, 9 points away from getting there. Walls, 12. RRQ, 12 as well. If those 3 teams exit early, and similarly to what we've seen so far, some of these lower scoring teams finding points, finding wins, maybe we go all the way into further without teams getting to match point threshold.
It always feels like when we're close, you're like, oh, it has to be this game, and then another game, and then another game. Even teams on 49 points, Sentinels being one of them. Back in Sapporo in January, could not get that single solitary point they needed to get over that match point threshold. However, it didn't end up too bad for Sentinels. They went on to win the whole thing.
And what a booster this is for Sentinel's chances now as they close in on halfway to match point threshold. Well, you wanted to see different zones. We're going to be heading to the southwest now of the map. Enter Force 36 in prime position for this one. For Fun and moving very quickly from draft point, and Alliance are going to have priority too. Remember, Alliance did get to that end game, and currently they sit in 8th position, so they're also putting a consistent amount of points on the board.
Yeah, second place for Alliance in that game as well. Somehow out of the dropship, you saw the POV of Aku.
On the ground.
No mags, no problem. He was hitting every bullet, and then unlucky cleaned up the pieces, denying S8UL their chance to win that game and opening the door for Sentinels to close out. But Viaduct is looking pretty, I would say, spicy when it comes to where you want to be positioning yourself. But a lot of teams actually heading to the street market side here. We do see those deep Viaduct pulls, but I wonder if some teams are thinking that maybe they want to hit a little bit more info, see where everyone else is. With the amount of teams that are kind of a little bit lost on where they want to play it.
Well, Enter Force 36 are playing the baby comp, and they have opted to go away from their POI. And as you mentioned, maybe to build up that Evo, just get a little bit of extra something. They dropped at Viaduct. They are currently hounding Alliance, by the way, and kind of shooing Alliance away, saying, we don't want you to take this western side away from us. So Alliance have respected them, backed off a little bit, but Enter Force 36, they are currently relentless with their push.
Yeah, just looking at compositions, it's actually an interesting conversation to have, because now with Maggie being banned, we did have that joint 20-pick aside, by the way. We'll go back to that in a second, because Jelly from Zeddy is finding some Wolves players in front of him. This is down on the southern side. A little bit of an engagement ends with no harm, no foul for either side. Everyone's still healthy for now. But going back to composition, the fact that Maggie has been banned, now we are starting to see Gibraltar, Newcastle, and the baby comp start to come through. The counters aren't there that were previously available, so teams might be looking to play this one a little bit slower, build up to purple, get those purple perks, and then make the most of the composition.
For newer viewers, baby comp has been defined as Gibraltar, Newcastle, and Valkyrie, because Valkyrie kind of carries the two through the air and slams to the ground, or because babies could play it. You judge, it's up to you.
It's the second one.
We are going to see Gibraltar banned in this game because we do have 15, so going into match 6, there will not be a Gibraltar, and the full baby comp will not be available. As up into the sky, there's a charge rifle available for Deeds.
Deeds one of the best Newcastles in the game, and I feel very, very confident in that statement.
Drones
kind of down the 6th string market if we can get like one of the bottom shops or something.
He's in position. They need to. Now, speaking of dragging teammates up, Falcons might need to do that right now, because the breach charge from Jelly is going to take down Waltzy, who's going to be playing Fuse. Interesting composition, actually, from Falcons in this game. Alter, Catalyst, and Fuse. Now, Jelly has just found himself down. Deeds does his job to pick him back up. That was a beautiful Sky Nade coming in from Guild.
Bubble goes down as well, just to protect themselves. Breach charge goes out. And Zeddy are going to opt to back away from this one. Probably an intelligent one considering the position that Falcons find themselves in. And Falcons just have that advantage on the damage they've been able to work at the moment. But you mentioned it. I love this competition. I think Catalyst is going to be integral the further we get into this tournament as well.
Fuse as the counter comp, you could say, or the counter pick to a lot of the Gibraltars that we're seeing. And also the Newcastles firing a couple of those knuckle clusters behind those mobile shields certainly does make you uncomfortable if you are running that legend. So Falcons choosing to try and play against what they expected to see in this lobby with some counters. Unlimit, they're being very aggressive. Look at this competition. Strafing Flame. He's going to be trapped inside of that room with nowhere to go. Easy Flash has just been taken down as well by Stuvie. When you're choosing Sparrow, Alta, was it, and Axel, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That says we're going to play 1-1.
It's never too much fun if the Gibraltar's the last one alive, usually, but ever since the changes where he can run a little bit quicker now, he's not as bad, even though hitbox is still pretty annoying.
They added some fast twitch fighters to this, man. I'm convinced of it.
But Pricey has been playing excellent, and RRQ very much deserve their position in third place. But an early elimination suddenly allows everyone else in the lobby to start to play catch-up. Now, I mentioned Elite Esports. We saw how incredible they were through the group stages. This was the map where they found so many points. They dominated so many games. And they need to find more here to put themselves in contention of getting to match point threshold.
Yeah, 20 points on the board so far. It's okay. It's decent enough.
Middle of the pack.
But like you say, the fact that this is the last time we'll see E-District for quite some time as we snake back through our map selection. Got to make the most of the opportunity where you've had those successes. Ninjas in Pajamas, not the greatest of starts for them. 18th position overall at the moment. Just the 11 points on the board, and most of those came from game one.
They did, but they are another one of those teams that could potentially take a win here, by the way, as Pricey's still being hunted down. And
poor Pricey.
You never know.
I think in a match point finals lobby with the talent on display, a 1v3 in that situation. Unlikely.
No, dude.
He's going to be dragged back up, dude. No problem whatsoever. Gets chased down by Zeddy Esports, as they will find those kills. They're completely isolated, deep in zone at the moment, Zeddy. As you can see on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, they're just outside of stadium. Where the zone is going, though, we are pulling down towards the south, down towards the back of Viaduct. We're expecting to see teams start to converge upon. One team who's taken their time, though, is the team who came second place in the previous game, and that's going to be Alliance. On that northern side, collected some input.
Yeah, they were at Street Market, and they've moved all the way around the west, hit the north, and they were bullied away initially by Interforce 36, and now they've been able to scarper themselves to the north. They will also be playing the baby comp that we were mentioning earlier. They have the Valkyrie available. I think that we've learned a lesson through group stages. Some of the baby comp teams who did have zone pull towards them really struggled because they weren't able to capitalize on the composition they are running. So instead, you go, you get your evos up, you get as much weapons and utility, and then you slam down into zone later and destroy one of these teams who is not quite as built up as you are.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get that skyward dive up to purple, get that perk where you supersonic into the skies, and also get the triple defensive bombardment, which I think really is the key to damage output for a lot of these teams in the end game. It's worth just taking that counter rotate away from zone to collect that Evo to make sure that that composition is as powerful as it can be.
So we briefly checked in with Team Vision, our lobby leaders at the moment. 9 points required. Could they be the first squad to reach the match point threshold? Zach did call them in 6. So they'd have to do it right here, right now. In the kill feed, Yanya's just gone down to the ring, so AG are also taking this with time. It looks like he's been picked back up as Team Liquid going for a very interesting rotation on the south here. They're actually so far off the map, they weren't even on my feed, but they've been able to sneak in behind enemy lines.
Yeah, full wrap towards the southern side here, and this backside of Viaduct is going to be very precious to a lot of teams. This is where the zone usually pulls away from the main kind of crane structure that makes up the POI. So sneaking your way to that southern side is going to be very, very effective if they can survive towards that end game. A team who's very close to match point Vision. They've got Enderforce 36 inside on Street Market right next to them, and you can see from their POV. Only 9 points away, Team Vision. Oh no, Lota goes down. And it looks like the Void Nexus is going to be the play. You can already see that he's been dragged back. Castle was just sitting on that. Zach and Lota were extending to see that things went badly, that they could get back into the game. Now, Worms Esports taking some damage, and it's going to be the rack from Team Liquid they weren't expecting that's cost them crazy comp.
Yeah, Team Liquid have just really created a lot of uncertainty here on the South. A few of the teams starting to get involved in this fight, thinking maybe we could pick up some KP, maybe we could take advantage of a couple of teams being weak. And Wolves are going to really have to try and battle back to get up to a full 3 here, with 1 being down. 2 will at least be okay. There's NIP also in the area and also noticing Team Liquid. Now GK arriving, and this is what happens in this game. When we have this many Valkyries, everyone's going to start to arriving.
One team who are very proficient when it comes to the baby comp is going to be GK. They ran into so much of the split of Pro League. Team Liquid decide that they don't feel comfortable. Wow. They're going to go up into the skies here. Now they have managed to get up to full level, so they're going to have all perks available. They're going back. I don't mind this too much. I think it was just a little bit too busy for them, and I think the actions of the teams around them were just being kind of a little bit too aggressive for their liking. They want to re-enter when the space is a little bit clearer, or maybe those two teams do start to engage with each other.
I mean, during the toilet break, I heard Zero shout at one of the other teams, "Why are you inting me for?"
Zero.
And he probably feels like they would be a little bit vulnerable to some aggression. So Liquid reset, Falcons also on the southwest. Wolves still struggling at the moment. It's going to be down to just Crazy Kong. It was GK who have wedged themselves between these teams, who are causing a real problem for Wolves right now.
So look at the kill feed. Alliance and Nemesis having a little bit of a scrap. Ninjas in Pajamas inside a zone will be safe for quite some time. Also, you can see SAUL picking up a knock onto Mike from Zeta Division. Crazy Kong, by the way.
They're blues though.
Moby just need to find the gap. Thread the needle.
He's got both of the banners. He's got himself a catwalk. Oh no!
Fuck down here.
But he might have forgot that there's 19 other spots available. It would have been very, very impressive to get that done. Maybe not right now.
They're respawning now.
For Fun aren't going to allow that one, perhaps. And he's spent the Dark Veil. That's the problem.
836 are fighting. GK. Wolves do not get the res off. A valiant effort though.
So close. Mere moments away from getting the team back in. He was happy to sacrifice himself. Now we have lost 3 teams, and 2 of those teams were in 2nd and 3rd. It opens the door for Vision to take a little bit of a lead here as we check back in with Sentinels.
That's a get down. Wow, yeah, not much chance of getting back through the portal that time, especially with Sheila staring at you now. Alliance on your screen, 2 Amiya powerhouses. Close enough that they can smell each other, and somehow has found himself a Kraber already in this game. Massive base hands as well. The fuse ult though, the motherload is burning. They have to play behind the Newcastle wall here. Look for this res. Bubble's going to go down. Unlucky will be able to drag Akku back to his feet, so should be okay. And as soon as that bubble goes down, these frag grenades are going to hurt.
He's got frags, he's got arc stars, he's got everything you could want here, but there is still other teams in the area, so Elite
again.
They cannot capitalize.
Yes,
you get the damage.
Kinda actually finds one onto Hackett, so that nade does its job. But with Akku still alive, there's still a chance for Alliance to survive here. You can see that Elite are desperate to clear this, to finish it off. Everybody is firing down, and now they bubble forward. Akku has to hold the line, but all of Alliance just got up.
They actually knocked Unlucky with the Thunderdome, by the way. Hackett gets taken down by Sentinels. Alliance are just being too focused. And they'll fall in 17th place. That's another team in the top 10 that's gone down.
Bodies around this spot.
This is how match point finals go sometimes. Just when you think teams are starting to take a lead, those that have been struggling start to pick up the pace.
Well, it's a motherload coming in from Vision here. They want to try and push this. Remember, they only need 9!
One shot on ball on the ground.
A Lota through the fire and the flames of the motherload. Jumps forward and deletes Watsy.
Just like that, they only need 8 and a placement point on the horizon if they get into the top 15 as well.
Now, this is a really big fight as well. Gildici does a good job of the rest of Falcons to retreat through a Void Nexus, because this endgame position will be huge. You can see where the zone is going to be pulling in 30 seconds time. And if Vision can clear this side and find a place to play, but 8 points they now need becomes a very, very viable option.
Focus for them because Falcons are going to hold them out. On the other side of Falcons is Team Liquid, by the way. Suddenly we're starting to see Hal and Zero get into these end games, which might be concerning for some of these other squads. NIP still very much a feature in this one as well. As you've just seen Gil get finished by Yanya, so he's just down to the CEO himself here. And sadly, Falcons will fall in 16th. So now we will have 15 teams. One more placement point for Vision. They need 7.
You can see the exhale from Halvo. I think he knew what his fate was about to be. But for Vision, they're going to be safe on this bridge. Next to them is going to be AG Global. That's where the focus of attention is going to be for Vision for now. You can see that Zach is just kind of trying to wrap behind Vision. Oh, it's AG Global. Excuse me, AG. And see if he can force them away.
They can walk up here probably later for free.
If they can deny them stepping towards this side of zone, then their focus can just be straight ahead to the north. Big Monk, you've got to be careful here. Knuckle Cluster goes in. Car takes a little bit of damage as the Zap on the cross here, but it does force the bubble. Motherload will follow up. Vision playing tight, making sure nobody oversteps and gives that first knock away.
This is a huge call from Vision to try and force Liquid away, and they've done exactly that. They've claimed it. Liquid say, actually, we'd rather stay alive. We need points as well. Live reaction of Hal complaining to his teammates. Not really too surprised with that one, but Vision have now been able to take one of the better positions on the map. Reject are arriving as well with the Skyward Dive, and actually, Reject arrived to the west. They become a threat here.
Just landed on their height. So Reject on the height now. Vision have to play bunkered down. They cannot peek. They cannot take the fight with Liquid. All of a sudden, Vision under pressure, but still safe in this zone. 15 squads to alive, by the way. If you see the mini-map, every single team seems to be stacked inside of the main structure of the POI. And has to leave. This is going to be an absolute battle on the northern side.
Team in the building Vision under a lot of pressure. RC have taken prime position.
One more potential point for Vision, by the way. Logan just got the knock onto Blitzer.
If he gets finished, that's going to be the real question, though. It's now Team Liquid. Maybe they sent Vision a weak kill.
Can you come with me? I'm gonna queue down.
Two are down on the side of Vision, and Carter has to stay alive.
You can help me, there's a knock.
Charge rifle. He's going to get finished off, though.
Just go. There's someone feet down there. Take it.
Yeah.
Oh, just one.
Distance. Maybe even a breach charge that took him down. Vision, Carter, left on his own. Legacy, porch back through. Zero says peekaboo.
No, left
down. No match point for them as we turn now to Liquid. Being forced by SAUL.
It's a brave fight from Liquid, but this could be a huge revive for them as well. Bubble was down, they get back into a 3. Now you need Sykes to get that bat off as Team Liquid will hold.
Oh, the double bubble. Arufa tries to poke from RC up on that high ground using the Valve to drop down, deal that damage, and pop back up. But the main story here for Liquid is they have reset. They have got healthy. And they will be able to participate in this endgame. Now, Sentinels looking for a back-to-back. 2 shots left in the Kraber, make it 3. My maths still not on point. Hopefully Blix's Kraber will be.
Still somehow 13 squads alive in this final circle, by the way. The most we've had so far, it seems, is for fun under a lot of pressure. And one of the key factors here, first, second, and third are out of this lobby. We still may not see a team reach match point, depending on who takes this victory here. Nemesis go down.
And it might be GG next. Corsicolt very, very close to them. Void passages coming through from For Fun to try and see if they can peek on the damage. GG have to force that bubble. They have to expend the bubble. And they're going to be vulnerable when that goes down.
Gibraltars are very much the main players in this final circle as Vayne has fallen. Power ramps are plenty, I'm sure. GG's still alive. They've still been able to use this little nook and cranny to stay in a successful position.
Well, NIP and GK is now a 2v2. In fact, it's going to be GK who win that one. Ninjas in Pajamas are dead. GG's still alive, by the way, and a combination of GG and Elite will delete For Fun. It's a Mia on a Mia on a Mia. As we now jump back to the Americas. Zeddy on your screen right now. Half the lobby has been eliminated. 10 squads remain.
An opportunity for Zeddy, maybe. They're at 37 points. A win here may just send them over that match point threshold. And the position they hold could be a perfect one. It is another KP that goes in their favor. As you can see how close these teams are now for reaching match point. Liquid, Zen and Zeddy is all eyes on. Can you do it here on E-District?
Zeta Division bang center of zone behind a Newcastle wall. Sentinels getting pressured by Elite Esports as well inside of their little hut they call home. GG now the play onto GK. Look who gets the clip. Zane sends into Bubba. Zone is closing GK down to one as Blast will find another in the feed. You can also see Zeddy doing some damage onto AG on the low ground. GG will reset.
This is going to be one of the most difficult end zones you've ever seen to stay alive. It's all down to bubbles, castle walls. And maybe, just maybe, there's something you can throw in. There's one box there in the lobby. Don't forget a catalyst there with the Dark Veil as well.
An L-Star will certainly help. Elite Esports will be out next. Zeddy looking to punish RC behind this wall. GK Esports, they'll be out of the lobby next. The solo will go. RC now versus Zeddy. Zeddy are trying to send this on the high ground. Rejector out. Gaming Gladiators also out. We're into our top 5.
Zeddy find themselves 7 points away now from the threshold. But Jelly's just gone down. They're being bombarded, but another bubble comes out. They should be able to get up, but the zone's creeping in. You've got to move.
Well, there's Deeds doing his job again on Newcastle. Members down in front of them all of a sudden. The game is Zeddy's. Liquid will fall. Everybody is in front of them. Oh, but that's Zeta Division. There's Zeta Division. Zeddy will fall. And send them for back-to-back. But it's Zeta Division who come through with the win for APAC North.
Yuka on land. Could we see the man who has been chasing that victory for what feels like forever? As no team crosses the match point threshold here in match 5. It has been the tightest ALGS tournament we've had in quite some time. Zeddy